Listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
One thing after the other. Cloudy, 14 degrees downtown. Nothing on your radar. He's got a low of about 6 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. From snow to cold temperatures.
Really cold temperatures. I'm Ryan Hedrick. By early Saturday morning, you'll notice a considerable drop.
Anywhere from -10 to -15, and this cold weather is going to stick with us through Saturday into Saturday night.
But Andrew White of the National Weather Service says next week it will be warmer if you consider 20 degrees warmer. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
There were more than 40 crashes during this morning's rush hour, says Indiana State Police.
I think people are driving very selfishly today. By that I mean they're driving too fast for the conditions and too fast for some of the other drivers who aren't comfortable driving as fast as they want to.
Sergeant Sean Perrine says you should slow down and give yourself extra time to get where you need to go when driving conditions aren't ideal. Lawmakers are moving a bill forward that would require you to verify your age to access internet porn in Indiana. Kurt Darling reports.
The bill says porn sites must use age verification by way of running your driver's license. Supporters of it say that it protects kids who have much easier access to porn now than just 4 decades ago. Democratic State Senator Greg Taylor was the only no vote on the bill in a vote Thursday.
What about those law-abiding citizens who should be able to enjoy these sites?
He's concerned with security, lacking confidence that age verifiers won't turn around and sell the personal information of people accessing porn sites. Kirk Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The Pacers almost gave up a 16-point lead, but were able to hang on against the Sacramento Kings Thursday, ending a 2-game losing streak.
We made it a little hard on ourselves down the stretch, so to the fans, I'm sorry if we gave you a heart attack, but we finished it, and like I always say, is the next guy up.
Pacers guard T.J. McConnell, who scored 20 points in the victory. Not much rest for Indiana. They play Portland tonight. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
After such a warm December, the bitter cold is now here. Hi, this is Jiffy Lube owner Steve Sanner, and I want to urge you to head to your nearest Jiffy Lube so our technicians can make sure that your car or truck is fully prepared to handle these ice-cold temperatures. At Jiffy Lube, you never need an appointment. Just drive in and we'll change your oil, check all your fluid levels, inspect your lights, wiper blades, and belts, properly inflate your tires, and make sure that your car is in the best possible shape to keep you safe this winter. Jiffy Lube is even replacing brake parts and tires now, making Jiffy Lube Indiana's one-stop shop for all your vehicle's maintenance needs. Our computer system has the owner's manual information for every vehicle, and we have scanners that can help you understand and often quickly fix any dashboard warning lights you may see. So drop by your neighborhood Jiffy Lube today, and in just a few minutes you'll get the peace of mind that comes with knowing that your car or truck is ready to handle another Indiana winter.
With traffic at 3:05, here's Alan Green.
Thanks, Harrison. Northbound State Road 37, a backup from Epler to 465 through the construction. Tonight at the Coliseum, the Fueler Home, they'll be hosting the Kalamazoo Wings at 7. And at the Field House, Disney on Ice also at 7. This report brought to you by Lowe's. Get the winter weather essentials you need at Lowe's today, like portable heaters, pipe wraps, generators, filters, or water heaters. Lowe's knows home improvement. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
We've already seen our high for the day early on, and we'll see temps fall into the teens late this afternoon. Tonight, mostly cloudy and bitterly cold, lows near 1. Wind chill values 5 to as much as 15 degrees below zero. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's... Yeah, actor Alec Baldwin has been indicted again on charges of involuntary manslaughter. He was charged about January, around this time last year, he was charged with manslaughter. They had to drop it. And apparently there's new evidence. They put the gun in forensics. This, of course, is, the set of Rust. He was filming a movie when he was handed a gun that they were using in the scene. The gun apparently had a real bullet in it and killed the cinematographer and injured, I believe, the director.
Now, there's a couple different people that
are at fault for this,
Yeah, the
right?
armorer is the one that loaded the the gun they were using in the movie scene.
Right.
There were supposed to be dummies, obviously, and somehow a real bullet got in there.
The armorer is a person in the movie whose sole job is to make sure that the weapon is not shooting real ammunition, right? So that person dropped the ball. But Alec Baldwin certainly didn't do himself any favors by being very defiant in interviews.
Oh, he was. He played the victim.
Right.
I didn't pull the trigger. Well, the new forensics and the new evidence says, yeah, that was what happened.
You mean the gun didn't magically float up in the air and shoot Helena Hutchins? Because I've been told by certain groups, gun advocacy groups, that that's how it happens. It's never a negligent bad guy. It's just the weapon's fault, right?
So involuntary manslaughter, 18 months in prison is what he's facing. Does he do a day in jail?
No, he will not do a day in jail. He killed someone. But yet, if you were just around the Capitol on January 6th, if you stopped by and took a picture, maybe a selfie, just walking by.
You're still in the hole right now as we speak.
And again, I've said this once. I've said it a million times. I will say it again. To this day, Alec Baldwin has killed more people than anybody that stormed into the Capitol that day. That's a fact.
They finished filming that movie. Like after every, Baldwin went back to the set. They finished the film. It's ready. It's done. It's just looking for distribution. Isn't that weird? Don't you think they would have just the company would just want to shut it down? 2 people, one dies, another seriously injured on the set, and Alec Baldwin still goes back to finish the film. Doesn't you find that bizarre at all?
And it was kind of a low budget movie anyway. We're not talking about some Hollywood blockbuster where they're going to finish it. Now, the only way I think I would be okay with that is if the family of Helena Hutchins, who was the young lady that was shot and killed, said, hey, to honor her wishes, I want you to finish this movie.
Well, they did get a piece of it. They settled with Alec Baldwin in wrongful death lawsuit. Part of the lawsuit, I believe, is that they get a piece of the movie.
Okay. So there's a reason why they would like this project to finish up.
Yeah, the widow, and I believe she had a 9-year-old at the time. Really, really, really horrible, sad. And I think probably, even though it was an accident, I don't believe he intentionally killed anybody. That's what involuntary manslaughter is. It's like it's accidental death, but it involves negligence.
Right, 100%. Now, since we're on the subject of court-related matters, late in our program yesterday, the Indiana Supreme Court came down with their decisions in regards to the Delphi case. Because yesterday, the current defense team for the suspect, Richard Allen, they went to the Indiana Supreme Court. They wanted 3 things done. They wanted the original defense team to come back because the judge, Fran Gull, kicked them off for being negligent. So that was one thing they wanted. They also wanted the court to quickly get this trial underway. They wanted it to be done or started anyway within 70 days. And they also wanted the judge, Fran Gull, removed from the trial. So the defense was asking for 3 things. They got one thing. The original defense team is now allowed to come back and work with Richard Allen in this trial.
All right.
This is what the decision from the Indiana Supreme Court read. Quote, having considered the written submissions and having heard the arguments of the counsel, a majority of the court votes to grant the petition for the realtor's request to reinstate attorneys Baldwin and Rozzi as his court-appointed counsel. The court unanimously denies all other relief sought.
But what they wanted, they got, basically.
The big thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Richard Allen got his attorneys back.
Which, okay, wish granted. You got these morons back that apparently can't keep control of evidence in their own facility. But if that's what you want, go ahead. The judge will remain on the trial, and they don't get to dictate how soon or how late the trial starts. But you're right. They got the big thing that they wanted, the original defense team. Now, I will say this. If I'm the original defense team, if I'm Baldwin and Rozzi, day one of that trial, I walk through those doors, I look up at Fran Gull as the judge, and I'm acting like Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor at that point.
That's right. We bad. That's right. You don't want no shit either. That's right. Darn right.
I mean, don't you kind of got to feel that way?
Yeah,
like,
because there's some bad blood here between the lawyers and the judge, and the judge just lost a big one. I want the trial to happen. I mean, we've got it. Like I keep on saying, keep Richard Allen healthy, get all the T's crossed, the I's dotted, and make your case, prosecution, because these guys are going to have some tricks up their sleeve.
right. And the families deserve everything
Oh my
out there.
gosh, could you imagine being the parents of these poor girls?
The families deserve a perfect trial. And what I mean by that is all the evidence out there. If this guy wants these attorneys, he should have them. If the prosecution wants to do this or that, as long as it's legal, let's do it. Everything should be on the table so this trial is right. You don't want a show trial. You don't want shenanigans, because I've got a bad feeling that's kind of what the defense team wants, because this is going to be televised. And I think the defense team is wanting to make this just a complete circus, just chaos. It's up to the prosecution, and that puts a lot of pressure on the judge to keep order in the court. Nige, did you have a 2-hour delay this morning?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
2-hour delay for school. Yeah, kids.
Nothing again for us, man.
Well, did you get the snow that we did in Boone County?
We got some snow. I don't know if we got Boone County snow, but it was about 1.5 inches, maybe.
I think we had a couple,
maybe 2.
Couple inches. And again, my wife's out of town, so it's just me and the kids. And I woke up at about 5:30 praying that when I looked at my phone, there would be a 2-hour delay so I could go back to bed. And boy, there was that text from Zionsville Middle School.
Look at you.
And I went back to bed for 2 hours. Connor got up and played Fortnite. Harper was on her iPad, and it was. I think school should really start a little bit later. 7:30 is pretty damn early.
It is.
But
Our
parents got to go to work. I know. I get the whole thing.
Right, and it's different times for different schools. Like, we don't have to be at school, like at the high school, Beech Grove High School, until almost 9.
Really?
Yeah. So, but they go a little longer. I'm sure your kids get out a little earlier.
Yeah.
And we're talking middle school versus high school and things like that. But in Boone County, how were the roads? That's not a ringing endorsement.
I mean,
right
the
there.
roads, even from Zionsville to get onto 465 to 65 was bad. I mean, they were drivable. I was going 55 miles an hour. And not everybody has a truck, I realized that. 65 southbound was okay. It was fine, pretty much. But 465 on the west side, not very good.
Now, the last time we had a large amount of snow, I think maybe Jerry Lopez was filling in for you that day. We had talked about how I thought the roads were actually really good here in Indy. And I was surprised because Boss Hogsets already won the election. What the hell does he care anymore? It's not an election year. Let the damn things freeze up for all he cares. But they were actually really good the last time around. This morning, now I get it. It happened at rush hour, which is a horse of a different color, but it was a little rough. I mean, there were some definite slick spots. There's a roundabout in Beech Grove that when you went around it today, it's like you were racing on a dirt track somewhere in Eldora. Like you were sliding and slipping, and it was kind of fun, actually. I'm not going to lie. So hopefully you had a very careful commute this morning. And now that the snow has moved out, the extreme cold is coming back. We'll talk about that coming up in just a moment. All right, Alan Green's filling in for Matt Baer.
Hey, on northbound State Road 37, usual backup from Epler to 465 through the construction. The intersection of 146 and Allisonville Road, that's being rebuilt. In the meantime, a through lane, a right turn lane, left turn lane remain open through the intersection all directions. And two-way traffic on 38th from Fall Creek to Keystone, but that's sharing the eastbound side of the road because of Purple Line work. This report brought to you by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go, Drexel Interiors for Timberlake kitchen and bath cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland online at drexelin.com. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Yeah, earlier it was 21 degrees. Now we're already down to 15.
Ew.
On our way to a low of 6. Tomorrow, a low of 3 degrees with sub-zero wind chill. Sunday, a low of 3 degrees with sub-zero wind chill. but then we slowly start to climb the ladder on Monday. High of 34. And then Tuesday, high of 42. Wednesday, 45. Thursday could push 50. So there is a light.
Now you're on drugs.
Light at the end of the tunnel, my friend. 15 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. So do you want your money to work a lot harder for you this year? Hey, what's up? It's Hammer and Nigel. Here's how you can get a great yield on your savings without betting the farm.
Oh, please, Hammer, tell me more.
You can get a competitive return that's averaged 7% a year for the past 10 years. Plus, you get an upfront 13% bonus on your money.
No way.
Yeah, a competitive return that's averaged 7% a year for the past 10 years, plus an upfront 13% bonus. And it's all backed by one of the world's largest insurance companies. Get the details from Bill Demery, your retirement guy, right here in Indy. All you have to do is call 317-932-9912. You know, he's my retirement guy as well, right?
Well, Hammer, you're a smart man, and Bill's my retirement guy, too.
Thank you. Get all the details by calling 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912.
Winter is here, and if you've already had enough of the cold drafts blowing through your old windows, bundling up in layers of clothes and blankets, and hearing the heat turn on for the 5th time this hour, then it's time to talk to the pros at Window Nation. Replacing those old windows with quality, energy-efficient ones from Window Nation is easier and more affordable than you think. Right now through the end of the month, replace the windows in your home and pay no interest for 5 years. That's a great deal, and on top of that, Window Nation is also giving you 50% off all window styles.
Window Nation's professional installation means your windows will fit right, so you won't have to worry about leaky, dirty windows and those cold drafts letting out your heat anymore. Don't wait. With 0 interest for 5 years, why not give Window Nation a look? Let Window Nation show you all the options to fit your needs and budget. It's easy. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. Hey, what's up? It's Hammer here. And after working with Nigel all day, there's nothing I love more than going home and getting lazy in a Lazy Boy from Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. They guarantee the lowest price and free delivery within 75 miles of Columbus and interest-free financing on all Lazy Boy furniture.
Hey, it's Nigel, and for all of January, Thompson's having a Lazy Boy 50% off sale. The only place to buy your Lazy Boy furniture is Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Long live the lazy!
Indiana Pathways for Aging helps Hoosier Medicaid members age 60 and over get support at no additional cost to live life their way.
Mom's Parkinson's is progressing, and Pathways provides in-home support so she can be with family every day.
Pathways coordinates Medicaid and Medicare services. I'm getting help with meals, personal care, and transportation.
One day, I might choose a nursing home, but today, I have options with Pathways.
The program begins in summer of 2024. Call 87-PATHWAY-4 or visit in.gov/pathways.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Roofs leak, pipes burst, and toilets overflow. When you're in over your head, Miscellaneous keeps theirs. A rescue-ready water damage team that responds around the clock. With more than 35 years of experience, they're wet everywhere. Except behind the ears. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Miscellaneous happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Miscellaneous.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's new design center on 146th Street at River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com.
This hour powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard air dealer in Indianapolis.
Jumping, them boys up to something. Ooh.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hello, my name is Nigel. Hammer's right over there with a special guest on the hotline.
Not only is he the host of the world's greatest post-game show, People magazine named him the sexiest man alive in 2005. Eddie White from the Pacers joins us. Eddie, how are you?
No, I think it was 1941, and there wasn't even a People magazine, but that's okay. Hey, I've been doing the research. I looked up this Pascal Siakam. It is Cameroonian for, I don't know if that's a word, for Hammer and Nigel. How about
it is.
That?
Wow.
That's not fake news. Not fake news. They tell me it's true. So that's what I'm going with. How you guys doing?
Man, we're doing good. And look, I know I probably differ from you on this opinion, Eddie. I love these late night Pacer games because I'm somebody that doesn't get home from work until like 7:30. So by the time I get something to eat, relax a little bit, the game's coming on. And a 10 o'clock start last night, Pacers at Sacramento, shorthanded Pacers team. But that was such a fun game to watch last night.
You get to my age, I don't care if we play at noon or at midnight. I don't care. As long as I'm around to watch it and talk about it, I'm happy. But, you know, yeah, last night, the only thing is I wish, like a lot of people have to get to work, so they go to bed early. They probably missed it and got up this morning, couldn't believe that we won it, especially when I heard how shorthanded we were. But it was remarkable. And it's kind of funny, you know, when the trade was made, now you see the fallout for 48 hours, whether it's Charles Barkley or anybody else, you know, talking about it. It's like we, Indiana, the Pacers, we become the talk of the freaking NBA. And it's like when you hear these guys who played the game, coached the game, are going, hey, you know, this is like maybe the greatest offense the NBA has ever seen, and it's just gotten better. Holy smokes. And I love when stuff happens like organically. It's like, you know, look at the Dallas Cowboys, right? They've been good the last couple of years. They had a great regular season. Well, they're expected to be good. They didn't make the Super Bowl, so everybody's losing their minds. When you win win faster than what you're supposed to, people get really excited. And I go back to that play-in game we had against Boston in our building. That was a playoff atmosphere. That's why it's so important for us to finish maybe in that top four. That means more home playoff games at Gamebridge, and it is the toughest place to play because, you know, our fans go nuts when something's on the line. So, I'm as excited as you are, whether it was 1 o'clock this morning or 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
So let's talk a little bit about the trade. What type of player is Pascal Siakam, and how is he going to vibe with Tyrese Halliburton when he comes back?
This might be the shortest answer I've ever given you. His general manager and coach, one of them said he's the type of guy, he's the first guy at practice, and he's the last guy to leave. That's it. Do I need to say anything else to anybody from the great state of Indiana? That's what we want. And then you add, he's very talented. He's a two-time All-Star, two-time All-NBA, and that kid's coming here with that work ethic, with the kids that we have now. You saw it last night. We didn't have Halliburton. We didn't have Siakam. We didn't have Nembhard. We didn't have, what's his name?
Neesmith.
Isaiah Jackson left. And, you know, and because they're not here on the roster, but we didn't have Wara and Bruce Brown. I mean, you know, they weren't there. They would have been there if we didn't make the trade. That's a lot of guys. And what happened? You had guys step up. TJ, holy smokes, a double-double. Benedict goes for 25. And then Walker to have 15. I mean, so it shows you have the depth, you have the work ethic. We've seen it all year. They're very unselfish. Kevin Pritchard said it a year ago, and I give him a lot of credit. He said there's something about this locker room that I've never, ever experienced. I've been around a lot of locker rooms. When I worked at Notre Dame with the Dolphins, I was at Reebok, when I worked with every team. This locker room is so tight and so united, and now you're adding a kid with great talent who their people up in Toronto say he's the first one in and the last one to leave. You got to be kidding me. It's almost like if this is a dream, don't wake me up.
You mentioned TJ McConnell earlier, and like if you've watched a lot of high school basketball in Indiana, or if you've played, either you were, you know, or you've seen that gym rat kid from Indiana that just runs around, slaps the floor on defense. He's a pain in the ass on, you know, the court. He's always hustling. I think TJ McConnell is like the professional NBA version of that gym rat kid. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And if you're a parent, if you're a mom or dad and you have a kid who's high school coach or JV coach or club coach is telling them, hey, you're not fast enough, you're not tall enough, you're not big enough, go play golf. Have them watch TJ McConnell. You develop that work ethic. And here's the beauty of TJ. And Hammer, you go to the games. You've seen it. He may go 2 or 3 games and never leave that bench playing. Now, he's always up cheering with the towel, and he's the first guy to encourage guys who may make a turnover and stuff like that. But he's a true professional. He will sit there for 3 straight games and not play. And all of a sudden, we play the 4th game, and the guy's in foul trouble, and he comes off the bench, immediately gets a basket or an assist. Then how many times we've seen him double back and make that steal, surprising somebody? Tell the youngsters, watch him. Whether you have great talent or you're like me and you guys with 0 talent, watch him. If you can develop that work ethic and that energy and that true professionalism, you know what? You may go farther than even think you can go.
One last thing, Eddie White here on the Hammer and Nigel show. What kind of vibe is this city going to have about a month from now for the All-Star game? Have you seen the Indianapolis International Airport and this giant basketball court that they put in the main area there? It's crazy.
Unbelievable. Only Indiana.
Yes.
We always say 49 states, it's just basketball, but this is Indiana. Only Indiana can make traveling a good thing in basketball. It is unbelievable. It looks fantastic. As every day, the committee is announcing something. I encourage people, if they haven't done it already, go to www.pacers.com/all-star. It's constantly, every day, they're adding new things going on. It's going to be arts. It's going to be culture. There's going to be parties. It's going to be fun. I encourage people to go check out the crossover. I've been to many of those over the years going to All-Star. It's a lot of fun. It's just going to be another feather in the cap for our city that does things. I've told you guys this. We've talked about 1 million times. I worked 26 Super Bowls. I've talked to the late John Clayton and Peter King and all these guys who've been to 30, 40, 50 Super Bowls. They always say Pasadena might have been prettier. New Orleans might have been more partier, but the best setting for a Super Bowl was Indianapolis, freaking Indiana. And guess what? When they leave here at the end of February, they're going to say, you know what? The best All-Star game the NBA has ever had was in freaking Indianapolis, Indiana. Nobody does it better than we do.
Have you eaten at the new steakhouse yet? Or
no. They had a couple VIP fancy schmancy things. And
you weren't there?
No, I'm not a VIP.
How VIP could it be if Eddie White wasn't there?
I'm kidding.
It's for the youngsters. They do that. I'll eventually get in there. I like to find the back doors. I like to come in the back door and leave to the back door. But it's another great addition to that area. And I'm still nuts over that the Bicentennial Unity Plaza, whether the ice is up or not. Well, the stuff that's going to go on there over the years for everybody to enjoy, for everybody in the community to enjoy. It's just, we're back. And this event, this is going to be a shot in the arm of downtown. It's going to be unbelievable. I just can't wait. It's going to be unbelievable.
Real quick, got about 30 seconds left here, Eddie. About 30 seconds left. Halliburton playing tonight, do we know?
Oh, I have no idea. You think they run that stuff by me? I'll know when you know. No. But you know what? Here's the thing. I can't wait till next Tuesday because you hope by then Halliburton will be ready, and then Pascal Siakam makes his Indiana debut against the world champions. And here's the thing. We may come off this road trip with a winning record, and we come back next week, right? We got a whole bunch of home games, Denver, Philly, Phoenix, and Memphis. If we go 3-1 or 4-0, I may start thinking, you know what? Maybe number 4 is too low a bar to go. Let's go. Let's win the whole darn thing.
Love it. Pacers and Blazers tonight. That's a 10 o'clock tip. You can hear it on our sister station, 107.5 The Fan. Eddie White will be on the postgame show. Eddie, we appreciate it, brother.
Love you guys. Be good.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, savvy, staying ahead of the market at every turn, finding ways to do more with less, and taking advantage of every opportunity that comes their way. That's why Comcast Business is introducing the Small Business Bonus. For a limited time, you can get up to a $1,000 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle when you switch to Comcast Business, the company with the largest, fastest, reliable network. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call or go online to learn about the $1,000 bonus today.
Give your business a head start in 2024. Get started with internet and security for $49 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement when you add one unlimited mobile line. Call or go online to switch today. Ends 2/21/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 100 megabits per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
I'm Darren Andrews from We Grow Hair India, and 18 years ago, I got my hair back.
I'm Rob, and 2 years ago, I got my hair back. Let this be your year to get your hair back and get your confidence back. Go to WeGrowHairIndy.com right now. We Grow Hair Indy has the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant. That was the procedure that was best for me. Their easy 30-minute PRP and laser treatments fit into any man or woman's schedule. Find out which procedure is right for you. Call 317-522-2995 for your free hair and scalp evaluation.
I'm Rick DeMoline, former professional football player. I got my hair back.
Hey, Barry Krause, #1 draft pick. I got my hair back.
Join me and thousands of others and get your hair back. Call 317-522-2995 or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com. That's 317-522-2995. This year, get your hair back. Get your confidence back.
My dad has a cold, but also has high blood pressure. That's why I got him Vicks DayQuil High Blood Pressure for max strength daytime relief. Unlike some ordinary cold medicines, it's specially formulated for people like my dad. DayQuil High Blood Pressure is sugar-free, alcohol-free, and decongestant-free.
Vicks DayQuil High Blood Pressure. The daytime, non-drowsy, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, cold, and flu for people with high blood pressure.
Like my dad.
Medicine. Use as directed.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
What to worry about after this snow. Cloudy and 14 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. Nothing on the radar. Low temps drop to the single digits tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:33. Your morning started with snow. Now you need to be concerned about the cold. Wind chill advisory goes into effect tonight.
So we're expecting wind chills to be, negative 15 or so. And then we're going to stay cold really through the start of the weekend. We'll have sub-zero temperatures for Saturday night.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service says some counties in northern Indiana got nearly 6 inches of snow this morning. It was a busy morning for state police.
Certainly our troopers are going from one call to the next, and the vast majority of these crashes are very preventable. They shouldn't have happened. And so it taps us out for sure, and we're trying to get them cleaned up as fast as we can.
Sergeant John Perrine says most of the 40 wrecks around Indianapolis had to do with the weather. A tow truck driver from Michigan died in Indiana Thursday after he was hit by a truck that lost control and ran into the median.
That tow truck was on the inside shoulder of the westbound lanes, and after sideswiping, the tow truck continued eastbound in the median, striking the original semi that was being winched out of the median, as well as the tow truck driver.
Indiana State Police Sergeant Ted Bonner says the truck was probably driving too fast. The victim was ID'd as Martin Troyer. Alec Baldwin's been indicted again on charges of involuntary manslaughter. New Mexico prosecutors are charging him for the death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins during the filming of Rust in 2021. She died during rehearsal when a real bullet was fired from a gun Baldwin was using. His lawyers say he never pulled the trigger. Prosecutors say tests show the gun could only have been fired if the trigger had been pulled. Congress found a way to avoid a government shutdown, at least until March. President Biden signed a funding bill today that would keep the government funded into early March, giving lawmakers more time to finish the formal appropriations process. And President Biden's plan for the economy is working, says White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre.
It's clear Americans are starting to feel President Biden's strong economy. Wages have risen faster than inflation for 10 months in a row. The unemployment rate has remained below 4% for the longest stretch in 50 years. Inflation has fallen by about 2/3.
Biden was in North Carolina yesterday, promising to give all Americans access to high-speed internet by the end of the decade. Traffic and weather in 60 seconds. Your time's 3:35.
Chuck loves the word grit, and I think he saw that in his father because his dad worked very hard.
Dorn Goodrich on family and her son, Chuck Goodrich.
We struggled. We had 4 children. We both worked, but we always paid our bills.
Chuck Goodrich was raised in a working-class home focused on faith, sacrifice, and a strong work ethic. As a young man, Chuck Goodrich worked at a gas station and a pizza shop. To pay his way through Purdue, Chuck worked at a campground, living in a tent one summer to save more money.
I said, but son, where are you going to live? He said, well, I got a tent, and I'm going to stay in that tent. He was willing to do whatever it took.
Now, Chuck Goodrich's sacrifice, grit, and relentless work ethic have paid off. Goodrich employs 2,000 people at Gaylor Electric.
He wants people to succeed because God gave him a heart for people.
Chuck Goodrich, conservative leader, who's your heart?
I'm Chuck Goodrich, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Go with Chuck Goodrich Committee.
With traffic at 3:36, here's Alan Green.
Thanks, Harrison. Northbound 37 is heavy through the construction from Epler to 465. 65 southbound backs up now between King and Meridian. 69 southbound between 82nd and 465. Starting to see more brake lights there as well. This report brought to you by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go, Drexel Interiors, for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland online at drexelin.com. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Wind chill values 5 to as much as 15 degrees below zero. Saturday will look for a partly to mostly cloudy sky. It'll be bitterly cold with highs only near 17, highs near 24 on Sunday. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Oh, yeah. Happy Friday, everybody. My name is Nigel. That's Hammer over there with a special guest on the hotline.
Tommy Piggott is the Strategic Communications Director. You can see some of his work on the popular Twitter handle at RNC Research. Tommy, Iowa in the rearview mirror, New Hampshire dead ahead. Let's start with Iowa. What was your takeaway from the Iowa caucuses?
Well, I think the big takeaway was that we had over 100,000 Iowans coming out in the bitter cold, the worst winter conditions in a very long time, to come out and caucus and to really show their excitement for getting rid of Joe Biden, for electing a Republican in November. And I think the contrast, and I think we discussed a bit last week too, between Republicans being on the ground in Iowa and really listening to voters versus Joe Biden, who has basically been MIA. He's been MIA his whole presidency, but especially the last, call it 30 days plus, he's been on vacation and barely had any public events. And I think it kind of shows that Republicans are the ones that are actually listening and care about solving problems, and Joe Biden can't hide enough. He just wants to hide and be on vacation.
You know, the thing that continually, I'm always surprised by this. I don't know why. I should be used to this by now, but like the left-wing corporate media's reaction to Donald Trump winning the Iowa caucus and his speech there, his
Victory speech.
That's what I'm thinking. Victory speech, and how Rachel Maddow from MSNBC cuts right into it and says, you know what? We're not going to let you see this because he doesn't tell the truth.
Rachel Maddow
said that. We're not going to provide a platform for this guy that sits here. And I'm just wondering your reaction. CNN did the same thing. And these are the same people that were shoving Russian collusion hoax down our throat, for years. And I just don't, I can't say I'm surprised by it, but I always still am kind of just left surprised, and my jaw dropped when that happened.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a joke if it wasn't just so absurd. And so, I mean, every single time you expect this from the mainstream media, but they never fail to go below the already low bar that we have set for them here. I mean, you mentioned the Russian collusion hoax. There's so many issues where that's the case. I think what was especially compelling is when they cut away from President Trump, it was on the border. And they acted like he was saying things that wasn't true about the border, which is absurd given the fact that the Democrats in the mainstream media repeat Joe Biden's lies about the border repeatedly. They repeated the fact that they thought that this was seasonal at the border. They repeated the fact that, they repeated the lie that this is seasonal at the border. They repeated the lie that the crisis is under control. The mainstream media has been covering for Biden on this issue repeatedly. Biden himself, who smears Border Patrol agents, Biden, who in his administration, who just the other day was smearing Texas DPS agents, accusing them of allowing migrants to die when we weren't even aware that was happening until after those deaths unfortunately already happened. And not to mention the fact that the best way to save life at the border is to secure the border and stop these illegal crossings in the first place. There are so many smears and lies coming out of this Biden administration that the mainstream media is repeating as if they are facts. So for them to try to lecture anyone when it comes to the border on disinformation is absurd, and they need to look in the mirror on that one.
And the thing is, Donald Trump's speech was actually very mild.
Yeah,
this wasn't flame-throwing Donald Trump.
It was conciliatory,
Right. He was thanking his fellow competitors, had nice things to say about Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis, was uplifting, by Donald Trump standards. But yet, if you watch the reaction from Rachel Maddow and Jake Tapper, you would have thought Donald Trump was up there just doing his, Eddie Murphy Raw act.
I think it goes to show that, when it comes to this general election, if it wasn't already known to be the case, this is another indicator that the mainstream media is going to do every single thing they can to try to elect Joe Biden. I mean, that's just what they're going to do. And the worst thing for the media is people judging events for themselves. When it comes to the decision between Republicans and Democrats, the bias in the media, the way they support Democrats, is basically trying to hide the truth from the American public. That's why they're censoring it. That's why social media is such a threat to the mainstream media. Because the best way that they can try to shape this narrative is to try to prevent people from seeing the facts on the ground. That's why they're not showing these speeches. That's why there's not nearly as much coverage on the border, except for a few networks like Fox News, because they have to ignore it as much as possible in order to defend Joe Biden. But unfortunately for them, there is that social media. There are other networks that are saying the truth. But that's why the approval rating and the trust in the mainstream media is at such a low, because they're just driven by their bias, not by the news.
Tommy Pickett is our guest. He is the Strategic Communications Director for the RNC. So let's move forward to New Hampshire. We've got a primary coming up on Tuesday. You're starting to see a little trash talk here between the candidates. And I know all is fair between love and politics. I get it. It's a competition. But from a party standpoint, from inside those walls at the RNC, what do you think when you see Donald Trump ripping Nikki Haley ripping Donald Trump, Haley against DeSantis, back and forth on social media? What is the thought process when you see a lot of infighting taking place?
Well, my first thought process is Joe Biden couldn't compete with that. I mean, Joe Biden would have no idea what was going on because Joe Biden is completely MIA. He's completely spaced out. But I think that the second part of this is there's going to be debates in primaries. There's going to be challenges. Candidates are going to make their best case to voters. That's part of that process. That's part of what happens in a primary. Our focus at the RNC is beating Joe Biden. That's where our focus is 24/7. We are building that infrastructure right now to beat Joe Biden. So whoever that Republican nominee is, they can take that road that we build right now and take it straight to the White House. Whether that's through our Bank Your Vote campaign, our election integrity campaign, volunteers on the ground, the list goes on and on and on. And that's where our focus is 100%. Once we have that nominee, we need to come together, because what unites us is far more than what divides us, especially when compared to the Democrats. We need to come together. But our focus right now is straight on Joe Biden, making sure that Joe Biden loses in November and that a Republican is elected.
Yeah, you said it right there. I mean, you said the Democrats are the ones that are divisive. I'm wondering what you think of Biden's quote-unquote campaign so far. He released a statement after the Iowa caucuses saying that it looks like it's going to be Trump and extreme MAGA Republicans, a bunch of extremists again. Is that the strategy for the Biden campaign, is to shame voters, independents, maybe somebody that voted for Trump last time, voted for Biden in 2020? Is that the strategy, to maybe shame them and talk about January 6th and all those kinds of things?
Yeah, the strategy is clearly just to smear people. It's just to divide people, make people scared. That's the strategy from Joe Biden. And it's clear from the speeches that he gives. I mean, he goes out there and he says outlandish things. Just think about pro-life Americans. Today is the March for Life. You can have a difference of opinion on abortion. The Republican Party is a pro-life party, a pro-family party, pro-mother party. But to go out there and for Joe Biden to claim that pro-life Americans are somehow these completely far-right, outside the norms of politics and destructive to our country, it's such an outlandish smear against those voters, but it's part and parcel what he's doing to parents that are concerned at school board meetings, people that are concerned about the border, people that want to make sure that their schools aren't closed down in order to house illegal immigrants, like just happened in New York. I mean, there are so many examples of Joe Biden smearing his opponents. That's his strategy from a messaging standpoint. His strategy from a campaigning standpoint is to hide as much as possible. I mean, his events since the Iowa caucuses have been basically to show up for about 5 minutes, take barely any questions. Most of the questions are on what type of ice cream flavor he's had. One event he went to in Pennsylvania is he was basically like sneaking around a library, it seemed like jumping out at people. I mean, there's so many videos that people would be like, who is this guy?
Which would be frightening as hell, by the way. Imagine being at the library and Joe Biden pops out of a corner somewhere.
Yeah, there's actually there's a video and it shows Joe Biden being asked questions. And he's looking at a bookshelf for some reason. And this girl who's just sitting at the table in front of him looked up in the shock. She's like, oh my gosh, what's that? That is his campaign right now, is to just basically go to these weird sort of campaign stops. And I think the idea is to show that, he's with it, I guess, or that he's good at retail politics. But he's not. That's the big problem. He's terrible at retail politics. He's not with it. And his speeches keep on bombing. So his campaign strategy, I think, is going to be hiding as much as possible, while his messaging strategy is to get everyone out there and attacking as many people as possible.
Tommy, we got about a minute left here. Just the other day, Karine Jean-Pierre says that the Republicans were the ones that are causing the problems at the border, and the Republicans voted to reduce the number of Border Patrol agents. I want to get your thoughts on that.
Again, another absurd statement. I mean, it just flies in the face of the facts. Washington Post has already fact-checked that, gave it 3 Pinocchios in the Washington Post on that exact statement. But you have Republicans that have voted to increase Border Patrol agents by 2,000 in this last appropriations bill. You had Senate Republicans calling to increase Border Patrol agents instead of hiring IRS agents back last year, 2 years ago, rather. And so you have all these examples of Republicans trying to pass border security measures. You had a massive House-passed border security measure passed 253 days ago called the Secure the Border Act. If Joe Biden wanted to end this crisis, he would stop blocking that. He could end this crisis today, but he's not. So for the administration to go out there and blame Republicans for this border crisis, it's such a lie, and it's a lie that the American people aren't buying.
Tommy Pigott, Strategic Communications Director for the RNC. Check out some of his work on Twitter at RNC Research. Tommy, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next Friday.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Have a good weekend.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
She's running around. Her breath doesn't smell. Her digestive system is perfect. It has made such a huge difference.
What did this dog parent do for their dog? She switched to Nature's Blend, a premium freeze-dried raw dog food made by Dr. Marty Goldstein, a veterinarian Forbes magazine called the Miracle Worker. It's the easiest way to support your dog's easy digestion, nourished skin, playful energy, and most importantly, their healthy, full life.
I'm so confident your dog will love it. Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee.
Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free full-sized bag of Tilly's Treasures dog treats. They're best-selling beef liver dog treats while supplies last. Go to drmartypets.com/diet or text DIET to 511-511. Go to drmartypets.com/diet or shop in over 2,000 stores nationwide. Use the store locator to find the store closest to you. All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply. Studies available upon request.
Denise has been playing jazz for 40 years. Last concert, one of the musicians fell sick with RSV. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems. This time, she's choosing to help protect herself with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo. Abrysvo is a vaccine for the prevention of lower respiratory tract disease caused by respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, in adults 60 years of age and older. Abrysvo is not for everyone and may not protect all who receive the vaccine. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its ingredients. People with a weakened immune system may have a decreased response to Abrysvo. The most common side effects are tiredness, headache, pain at the injection site, and muscle pain. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hi, this is Malia with Family Heating and Air, and as a mom myself, I know it's really important to keep the kiddos healthy. Air quality, humidity, those are super big issues on my concern list. If you share any of these concerns, give family a call, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Look out, Indiana. The Big Beer Barons are belly up at the State House, demanding another round of special privileges to increase profits, lock out competition, and raise prices for consumers. Big beer wholesalers already have a sweetheart monopoly on beer sales. Now they want the state to let them unfairly sell even more products. And that's not right. It's time to crack the monopoly and free the beer. Learn more at freethebeer.com. Paid for by Wine and Spirits Distributors of Indiana.
Are you dealing with foot, knee, hip, or back pain? We can help.
Hi, this is Phoebe with the Good Feet store, and I want to talk about your discomfort. Did you know that your feet have a quarter of all the bones in your whole body? With 4 arches, 33 joints, and over 100 ligaments and tendons in each foot, it's no wonder so many people suffer from foot, knee, hip, and back pain. Stop throwing your money away on all those over-the-counter products and expensive shoes that just can't do what the Good Feet store can. At America's Arch Support Store, we teach you everything you need to know about how our patented 3-step system will work to solve your problems so you can get back to living the life you love without your pain getting in the way. Come in today for your free personalized fitting and test walk and trade in those bad feet for some good feet. Don't just live with the pain. Discover your options at the Good Feet store. We're in Fishers and Greenwood. Call 829-1040 or visit goodfeet.com to make your appointment today. Get back to doing what you love with Arch Supports from the Good Feet store.
Are these uncertain times making you nervous? Give Family Heating and Air a call at 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake kitchen and bath cabinets. Visit Drexel's new design center on 146th Street at River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com.
Real quick, if you want to take a look at my NFL betting picks or comedian Scott Long's NFL betting picks or the pro handicapper that we work with. His name is David Stefanoff. Follow neverfade.com. The article is posted, WIBC.com. It's on our Facebook and Twitter as well.
I will say you guys had a pretty successful night at that IU Purdue game.
We swept it.
Wow.
We ran the table, baby. I know Scott and I are going head-to-head in some games this weekend.
Okay.
So if you want to check out the picks, you can follow us, you can fade us, but it's available for you on our social media and WIBC.com. Let's make some money. All right, Alan Green, what's up?
Hey, northbound State Road 37 is still jammed Epler to 465 through construction. Northbound 465 is tightening up from Fall Creek to 75th. 65 southbound breaks between King and Meridian, and 69 southbound is slowing from 82nd into 465. This report brought to you by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go, Drexel Interiors for Timberlake kitchen and bath cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland online at drexelin.com. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
15 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Hammer, great news. If you would like to have 52 date nights at Applebee's this year.
Hell yeah!
There's just an exciting deal for you. They're selling what they call a date night pass for $200. So that means they offer $30 off your next 52 visits over the next year. You need to go at least 7 times to break even, but it could be worth like $1,300 in savings. A dating pass from Applebee's. Are you okay with this?
Yes, I am, but there are some rules. You can only go once a week. You can't just, take a week off of work and just go every single day and just, do your thing. You've got to go at least once a week, and it's only $30.
Yeah,
now,
and there's no booze not included.
Booze is not included. Fatties like me order $30 of food by themselves, right? And Applebee's is probably hoping that you'll spend a little bit more while you're there. So if you're into that kind of thing, check it out from Applebee's, which brings us to great moments in Applebee's history. I do love some Applebee's, and I've often thought about getting thrown out of one like Ricky Bobby's pot-dealing daddy Reese Bobby.
I hate to be a pain, darling, but I asked for no onions on my bourbon steak.
Oh, I am so sorry. I thought you asked for onions.
Maybe don't interrupt me.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, well, I think you did mean to, and I also think that you meant to put the damn onions on my steak.
Okay, Reese.
I'm a veteran! Dad! I'm diabetic!
Dad! Why are you doing this?
Applebee's has rats!
No!
I found a whole rat for Cobb salad!
Great moments in Applebee's history. The Attorney General, Todd Rokita, scheduled to join us next.
Your health is about so much more than your medical needs. So shouldn't your health plan be too? If you qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, a Humana Medicare Advantage dual eligible special needs plan could help you buy essentials you need. Get $3,000 a year for eligible groceries, rent, utilities, and more. Plus, whatever you don't spend rolls over to the next month. You'll even get benefits like $0 copays on routine prescriptions, plus routine dental, vision, and hearing coverage. Get peace of mind with a Medicare plan that is there for the big moments and every moment in between. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a coordinated care plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Indiana Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal. Allowance amounts cannot be combined with other benefit allowances. Limitations and restrictions may apply.
Has the holiday season left you overwhelmed, stressed out, and overweight? Do you feel frustrated when you think about what you need to do to be healthy and feel better? You deserve a simple approach to a stronger, healthier, and more enjoyable life. Exercise Inc. has been helping people in Central Indiana reach their health and fitness goals for 20 years. The approach is simple. Strength train with a certified coach once a week for 20 minutes. Adopt the 9 simple habits you need to follow to change your health and lose weight. Then get out there and enjoy life, because you'll be stronger and have more energy, and you're going to feel better, and you'll lose weight, and you'll probably even look better too. And you may even be able to get off of some of those prescription medications. Exercise Inc., Avon, Brownsburg, Greenwood, Zionsville, and now in Fishers. The studios are private, no mirrors, no music, and no spandex. Just you and a professional coach working to reach your goals for the new year. Go to exerciseinc.com today to sign up for a free consultation.
After such a warm December, the bitter cold is now here. Hi, this is Jiffy Lube owner Steve Sanner, and I want to urge you to head to your nearest Jiffy Lube so our technicians can make sure that your car or truck is fully prepared to handle these ice-cold temperatures. At Jiffy Lube, you never need an appointment. Just drive in and we'll change your oil, check all your fluid levels, inspect your lights, wiper blades, and belts, properly inflate your tires, and make sure that your car is in the best possible shape to keep you safe this winter. Jiffy Lube is even replacing brake parts and tires now, making Jiffy Lube Indiana's one-stop shop for all your vehicle's maintenance needs. Our computer system has the owner's manual information for every vehicle, and we have scanners that can help you understand and often quickly fix any dashboard warning lights you may see. So drop by your neighborhood Jiffy Lube today, and in just a few minutes you'll get the peace of mind that comes with knowing that your car or truck is ready to handle another Indiana winter.
At Consumer Cellular, you get the same exact coverage as the largest carriers, but for up to half the cost. Same thing, up to half the cost. Up to half the cost for the same thing. 50% the money for 100% the same thing. I hope I'm making myself clear. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Half the cost savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single-line 5GB data plan with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single-line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plan offered by T-Mobile and Verizon May 2023.
My name is Donita, and I cared for my mother for 8.5 years. There were times where I was like, I can't do this alone. Then I found CareForth. They gave me the resources and the confidence to care for Mom at home. They even paid me. I'm so happy I was able to care for Mom, but even more grateful I wasn't alone. When I say they're like family, I mean it.
Caring for a loved one at home? Get support and get paid by visiting careforth.com. That's careforth.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, the problem this morning was snow. Up next is the cold, and a cold case from 1995 out of Scott County solved. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
Alec Baldwin indicted. Lisa Brady, Fox News. The actor is charged again in the fatal shooting on a movie set. Fox's Jonathan Hunt.
It was back on October 21st, 2021 that cinematographer Helena Hutchins was killed on the set of the low-budget movie Rust when she was hit by a live bullet from a gun being held at the time during a rehearsal by Alec Baldwin. It wasn't until January of last year, though, 2023, that Baldwin was initially charged with involuntary manslaughter.
That case later withdrawn, but a new analysis of the gun sent prosecutors in New Mexico back to a grand jury, which indicted Baldwin today, charging him with involuntary manslaughter. The shooting happened during a rehearsal, and Baldwin has denied pulling the trigger. Defense attorneys say they look forward to their day in court. Winter weather brings more snow to the Northeast after a deadly run of recent storms.
A cross-country winter storm has reached the East Coast with snow falling in Washington and New York.
dark. People in Philadelphia may see that city's biggest snow of the season, with 3 to 5 inches expected. Problems remain for areas hit by storms earlier in the week. Oregon is still dealing with power outages. Severe winter weather is being blamed for at least 50 deaths in the U.S. over the past 2 weeks.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. Today's storm causing problems, thousands of flights delayed or canceled. The White House sidestepping a question on whether it still believes the southern border is secure.
We believe we need to do more. The president understands we need to do more. And we see Republicans and Democrats in Senate want to do more.
Spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre pointing to ongoing talks about possible changes in border policy, though also accusing Republicans again of playing political games with hearings on impeaching the Homeland Security chief. A record day on Wall Street, the Dow up 394 at the bell, the S&P hitting new highs. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
More cold weather. 14 degrees, cloudy over the circle. Your radar's clear. Low of 6 predicted for tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. You were dealing with snow this morning. Up next is more cold weather. Ryan Hedrick reports.
The snow started Friday morning but cleared before the end of the commute. Now sub-zero temperatures are on the horizon.
So we're expecting wind chills to be, negative 15 or so. And then we're going to stay cold really through the start of the weekend. We'll have sub-zero temperatures for Saturday night.
Forecaster Andrew White says there are still winter storm warnings for many northern Indiana counties. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
There were more than 40 crashes around Indianapolis this morning, says Indiana State Police.
I think people are driving very selfishly today. By that I mean they're driving too fast for the conditions and too fast for some of the other drivers who aren't comfortable driving as fast as they want to.
Sergeant John Perrine says you should slow down, leave early, and be patient when driving in bad weather. DNA technology helped state police solve an attempted murder cold case out of Scott County from 1995. The identity of the suspects will not be released, but advancements in DNA technology helped the cops find their suspect. He was in his 30s when the crime happened, moved out of the state, and died in 2003, say state police. Donating shoes to Hoosiers in need is something you can take part in with Indiana lawmakers. John Herrick explains how.
Members of Indiana's House of Representatives have partnered up with the organization Samaritan's Feet to collect new or gently used athletic shoes.
By making a donation, whether that be through money or shoes, Hoosiers have a chance to really make a difference in someone's life.
Republican Lori Goss Reeves of Marion says you can drop off shoes at the State House or make a donation online at SamaritansFeet.org until March 1st. Then they get distributed all across Indiana. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
This weekend, it might be worth putting up with the cold if you're at Carmel's Festival of Ice.
If you come to Main Street tonight, best thing to do is pick out a place to have dinner and then stroll up and down the street and look at all the different sculptures.
Dan McFeely with the City of Carmel. He says you could spend your Friday afternoon and evening sipping on hot chocolate while watching people turn blocks of ice into works of art. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Winter is here, and if you've already had enough of the cold drafts blowing through your old windows, bundling up in layers of clothes and blankets, and hearing the heat turn on for the 5th time this hour, then it's time to talk to the pros at Window Nation. Replacing those old windows with quality, energy-efficient ones from Window Nation is easier and more affordable than you think. Right now through the end of the month, replace the windows in your home and pay no interest for 5 years. That's a great deal, and on top of that, Window Nation is also giving you 50% off all window styles.
Window Nation's professional installation means your windows will fit right, so you won't have to worry about leaky, dirty windows and those cold drafts letting out your heat anymore. Don't wait. With 0 interest for 5 years, why not give Window Nation a look? Let Window Nation show you all the options to fit your needs and budget. It's easy. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
With traffic at 4:05, here's Alan Green.
Thanks, Harrison. On southbound Man at Epler, there's a stall. It's partially blocking traffic. Traffic is backed up about halfway to Thompson. State Road 37, northbound jams through construction. Epler to 465. 465 northbound tightens up Fall Creek to 75th. And 65 southbound delays between King and Meridian. This report's brought to you by Unbound.org. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it'll change your own. Unbound.org. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This evening, the snow showers slowed down, but a few flurries are certainly possible from time to time. Low around 5 degrees outside, winds out of the northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. It'll be another cold one out there by our Saturday morning. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist for Sudas for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it. We got a lot going on. It is Beer Sample Friday. We're going to get to that in just a little bit.
May already be sampling. Maybe
Here
not.
in just a few minutes, the Attorney General, Todd Rokita, will join us in studio. All of that is coming up. But first, Nige, let's break down and check in with crack-smoking, gun-toting, dead brother widow-poking Hunter Biden.
You smoke crack, don't you? Don't smoke crack.
Then the next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead.
Mark your calendar, Nige.
Okay.
February 28th. That's when Hunter Biden's going to make his way over to the Capitol for the big closed-door deposition with James Comer and your favorite TV pals.
Yeah. And are we going to learn anything? Do you think anything's going to come from this?
You're asking me if I have faith in an investigation to get done? No. Now, this is going to be the behind closed door deal. This is what Comer had been asking for a long time. But just because it's behind closed doors doesn't mean that it's not going to be recorded. So there could be some snippets of video that, I don't know, get leaked out. Wink, wink.
Why didn't they just do this the first time? It seems like the Republicans may have mucked it up a little bit the first time because they made the same request the first time, but Comer also said, we want him in public. You know, and
he gave him the choice.
He gave him the choice.
And Hunter defied the subpoena the first time around, but it sounds like some legal stuff was about to get in the way there.
Whatever.
Here's James Comer talking about half-assed going through the motions.
You have a deposition. The committee votes to release the transcripts. After the January 6th committee, the depositions were filmed. So this deposition will be filmed. This will be testifying in public, but not in a chaotic scene where the Democrats who have already demonstrated they can't conduct themselves in a mature, credible manner.
See, I was all in on getting Hunter's ass up there in public when he showed up. I'll testify right now. Let's do it.
But that was going to turn into a circus, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, okay. But Jim Jordan and Comer and all those good time party boys, I mean, they know what they're doing. And
do they? Because you sound like you got a hell of a lot more faith that anything's going to happen to Hunter Biden than I do.
Well,
I like those guys.
I don't care about Hunter Biden. I care about all roads leading back to his dad, the big guy. 10% for the big guy. That's all I care about, and this is where it starts.
This situation reminds me of the Pacers post-brawl. After the brawl, they brought in a bunch of nice guys, right? Because they had to rebrand themselves. And none of them were any good. Talking about Troy Murphy and Mike Dunleavy. That's kind of how I feel about the Oversight Committee right now. I like these dudes, but they're not winning. That's the problem. Hunter's got the upper hand right now because he's making a joke of this whole thing. We have got a special guest in the studio here. The Attorney General for the great state of Indiana, Todd Rokita, joins us. Mr. Attorney General, how are you?
Just when I was getting sad for not being in Congress.
Hey, by the way, your staff looked like they were having a blast at our charity bowling event last Friday.
Yeah.
Only two of them had to be escorted out for public talks. I think one of them's here now. Are you Kelly or Caitlin? Caitlin.
I believe that was lewd behavior that she was kicked out for.
I'm kidding. That's just a joke. Just a joke.
Yeah, another office record.
Yes, but seriously, that raised money for veterans groups. Our charity bowling event that we did last Friday raised thousands of dollars from multiple groups that help our brave men and women. You paid for a bowling lane for your staffers.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for helping out.
No, thank you for letting us participate, and thank you for letting your listeners participate. Great leadership, guys.
So it feels a little ridiculous that we have to actually say this out loud, but there has to be some sort of anti-Semitism bill now. Like, it's not good enough to just be a decent person who's not, an anti-Semite or a bigot. There has to be a legislation. Take me through House Bill 1002?
Well, number one, it's a good bill. You know, I'm not a huge fan of legislating hate crimes or anything like that, but this is really a bill about definitions. This is a bill that says, you know, anti-Semitism is not going to be tolerated. What defines anti-Semitism is it's not going to be tolerated here in the state of Indiana. And you're right, we shouldn't have to put that in a law, but our legislators, and I agree with them, feel a need to do it because here we are. And we're in a place where, you know, I think we think we would have learned this lesson at least a few decades ago in the 1940s, but we're in a place where we're teaching our children that it might be okay to have genocide.
I mean literally teaching in some college universities.
Yes.
You look at Harvard and you look at Penn and some of these places. There's been a big problem there.
But
with
it went from 0 to 100 immediately after October 7th. Like the day of or the next day, you immediately saw pro-Hamas, anti-Israel protesters taking to the streets, even here in Indianapolis.
So in a way, this is the latest chapter, the latest installment of this oppressed versus oppressor situation that we have in every issue. You know, whether it's the CRT being taught in our schools or issues we talk about on these radio waves all the time. The Israelis got labeled right then on October 7th as the oppressors and the Palestinians the ones who were oppressed. And so in the Marxist ideology and that doctrine, that's why you have this automatic triggered hatred. Israelis must be oppressors. No, that's not true. They're just trying to keep alive. They're trying to defend a country that all historical records say is theirs. But they got labeled an oppressor. Palestinians and the Hamas got labeled the oppressed, and here we be.
Chatting with Todd Rokita. He is the Attorney General for the state of Indiana. So if you type in your name in Google and hit news, boy, there's a lot of stuff that comes up. It's part of the gig, right?
Yeah. Thanks for the beer, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're welcome. We owed you one, actually, from the last time I think you joined us. But I'm seeing this buffer zone thing, the 25-foot police buffer zone. What is this?
Well, you know, we've had the George Floyd riots. On the heels of that, we've had, I don't know, how do you describe them? Maybe sovereign citizens is what they describe themselves. These YouTubers who are going out now and physically interfering with police officers as they're investigating a crime scene, a live scene. And it's become a real problem. So we've, the legislature, again, rightly has come up with a 25-foot buffer zone that allows for accountability of police officers. And hey, our police officers, the good ones, which is almost all of them, want to be held accountable. So this lets the public see what they're doing, but not come so close that you're going to interfere or impede the police work that's actually going on.
So you can get within 25 feet of an active crime scene and see what's going on, but you can't get up there with the rubber glove on and start touching corpses and stuff.
Yeah, right. Or we have incidents where people are coming up to police officers on a live scene and flashing flashlights in their face.
Okay.
Coming up behind them with their own gun.
Yeah, no.
What else are we having? One of these sovereign citizen types comes up to him and he drops his pants. When the police officer has to figure out what the heck's going on.
Now, to be fair, that was after our bowling event. Nigel doesn't remember a thing at all. I mean, this is ridiculous, though.
So that's what's going on. And the ACLU, right, who's on the other side of a lot of these things, is trying to defend the YouTubers, and one in particular in South Bend. And we recently won that case. We'll see what the appeal looks like. There was a sister suit filed by some mainstream media types who thought that they couldn't do their job. But to that suit, to the one that we just won, what we're saying is, look, technology has advanced to the point where any phone now can video what needs to be videoed in a quality good enough that will keep transparency, keep the police accountable. So we don't think it's a problem. The court agreed with us, and again, we think it's a good Indiana law.
So we had a news story, I believe it was yesterday. Some more folks are throwing their names in the mix to try to steal your job away from you as the Attorney General. How hard is it when you've got serious issues like this? You're talking about anti-Semitism bills. You're fighting the ACLU. How hard is it to also campaign when you've got people going after you and you know what they're going to use against you. They're going to bring up the Fox News thing. They're going to bring up the Supreme Court stuff. Like, how do you balance it all out?
I just do my job. I mean, honestly, the jobs that we're doing speaks for itself. I think it speaks very highly. We have great attorneys. We are doing a lot. We're in a lot. We're in a great mix of things, and I really like the job. I mean, all things, you're trying to make me depressed, I think, but
no, that's not what the Indy Star says.
Right?
They say they're trying to get you're trying to get yourself fired.
Yeah, I mean that's about all they have to say now. I mean they can't think of there's nothing else out there to say, so they make this stuff up. No, in fact, Mrs. Rokita even said, you finally found a job that fits your personality.
Is that a compliment or not?
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I'm still trying to figure that one out. No, I do like the job, and I wouldn't be anywhere else right now. I mean, someone was asking me the other day, hey, you could be running for Senate, you could be running for governor. I guess I could, or I could be back in the private sector. But I really feel like the work we're doing and the fights that we started in court, these legal battles need to be finished, and I'm going to do the job, and it's one I like doing.
Go back real quick before we put a bow tie on this thing. Go back to the anti-Semitism bill that your office is behind, HB 1002. What chance does this have of actually getting past the House and the Senate? Like, I'm sure there's going to be some dissenters, right?
No, it's unreal. It's been unanimous so far. There's been some debate, but it's got out of I think it's going to be on the way to Governor Holcomb's desk very soon. At the end of the day.
Okay. All right. So that's a good thing. We'll take that. We're optimistic about that. What are some things in Indiana that you would love to see changed, but you're not as optimistic about?
This session? Well,
in general.
No, it's going to be a short session. I think they're going to want to get out and campaign, and they don't want to keep that too messy. I think we have to work on some enforcement capabilities, not only with my office, but generally on patient privacy. It's not just the abortion issue. It's making sure that hospitals and doctors respect patients' privacy. And I think we're in a world where we're straining and losing our privacy, whether it's data, whether it's medical records, whether it's a lot of things. And I think
whether it's blabbing to the Indy Star,
an
abortion activist doctor blabbing to the Indy Star. Is that what you're talking about?
And everyone knows that one case. But here's the thing, guys. I at any given time have 20 to 24 live cases about doctors violating patients' privacy. It's something that we actually do a lot of. You just never hear about it because they only want you to hear about one, right? So, that's really an issue. And we're in a culture now where with AI and everything else, we lose our privacy by the millisecond. And I hope we can get that back in our culture.
So ever a day where you wake up and you check social media and you just want to go off on somebody, whether it's a writer for the Star, whether it's a midday host here at WIBC, whether it's somebody from the ACLU. Is there ever anything that you've almost put on Twitter and you had to say, I better delete that?
Or what? Even better, one of your staff sees what you're about to put on Twitter and be, hey.
Yeah, well, for my own protection, we have some internal office agreements where I'm allowed to write drafts.
Okay.
And a lot
you
of times
just can't hit send.
And a lot of times the drafts go through, but a lot of times they come back to me and I rewrite them. That is actually a good practice. It's actually very therapeutic to write something out, stick it in your desk drawer, so to speak, or keep it on your phone.
A lot
sleep
of people
on
would
it,
stay out of trouble if they
and
did
come
that.
back the next day.
Myself in that category.
You're in that category.
Myself in that category. Todd Rokita, the Attorney General, thank you so much for coming by. We appreciate it.
Thanks for your leadership in the community, guys. Appreciate you.
Alan Green is standing by. He's filling in for Matt Bear.
Northbound 37 jams up through road work from Epler to 465. 65 southbound before 44. There's a crash. Right lane is blocked. Southbound man at Epler, a stall partially blocking traffic as things backed up about halfway to Thompson. 465 northbound slows Pendleton Pike to 71st. 69 southbound to 96 to 465. This report brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation's been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
15 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
In order for small businesses to thrive, They need to be smart, efficient, savvy, staying ahead of the market at every turn, finding ways to do more with less, and taking advantage of every opportunity that comes their way. That's why Comcast Business is introducing the Small Business Bonus. For a limited time, you can get up to a $1,000 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle when you switch to Comcast Business, the company with the largest, fastest, reliable network. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call or go online to learn about the $1,000 bonus today.
Give your business a head start in 2024. Get started with internet and security for $49 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement when you add one unlimited mobile line. Call or go online to switch today. Ends 2/21/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 100 megabits per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
If you're facing $10,000, $20,000, or even $30,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt, there are programs available that can consolidate those debts into one single reduced payment you can afford if you qualify. Accredited Debt Relief is on a mission to help you become debt-free in just 24 to 48 months. They've helped over 300,000 qualified consumers. Hardworking Americans just like you pay off more than $3 billion in debt, earning them an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Accredited Debt Relief will tailor the program to fit your specific budget and financial situation. So call Accredited Debt Relief now for your free no-obligation savings estimate and let them help you take control of your financial destiny.
Call 800-530-3939. 800-530-3939. That's 800-530-3939. 800-530-3939. Program and services not available in all states.
I'm Darren Andrews from We Grow Hair India, and 18 years ago, I got my hair back.
I'm Rob, and 2 years ago, I got my hair back. Let this be your year to get your hair back and get your confidence back. Go to WeGrowHairIndy.com right now. We Grow Hair Indy has the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant. That was the procedure that was best for me. Their easy 30-minute PRP and laser treatments fit into any man or woman's schedule. Find out which procedure is right for you. Call 317-522-2995 for your free hair and scalp evaluation.
I'm Rick DeMoline, former professional football player. I got my hair back.
Hey, Barry Krause, #1 draft pick. I got my hair back.
Join me and thousands of others and get your hair back. Call 317-522-2995 or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com. That's 317-522-2995. This year, get your hair back. Get your confidence back.
BoerRemodeling.com, serving Central Indiana for 23 years. These are your kitchen and bathroom remodeling specialists. When you're ready to make the change, they're ready for you. It's a new year, so it's time to get it done. That kitchen, that heart of the home, the bathroom, a place where you can actually relax and build instant equity in your home. 317-852-5546 or online at Boer, BOOHER, BoerRemodeling.com.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's new design center on 146th Street at River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com.
This hour powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard air dealer in Indianapolis.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Hammer, how do we play?
I'm gonna run stories by you, blah, blah, blah. Is this anything? Does your kid's school ever do half days? Like, is that still a thing anymore?
Well, I mean, we had a 2-hour delay for snow. I don't know about half days, though. I mean, I think it's one and the same to me anyway.
Here's a mom on TikTok ticked off about half days.
Uh-oh.
Half days? Why? Why are we doing this?
By the time it takes me to drag my kids out of their bed and shove them out the door 2 days this week, why couldn't we just do that once for one full day? Who's doing the math? What math we doing here? What is it? Is it the amount of hours in or the amount of days I have to drag my kids here? It's causing me angina getting them out of the house only to have to then come pick up within 3 hours? What can I get done in 3 hours? I can't get nothing done.
Lady.
I'm circling my tail for at least an hour and a half at home. What are we doing? Who can I talk to?
No, this is nothing. This is some woman complaining that she has to do her job as a mom. That's what she's complaining about. Look, I get it, man. During COVID, a lot of parents were thrown into this crazy vortex where their kids were home and they were home too, and they were having to juggle jobs and e-learning at the same time. This is something different. This is a woman that's annoyed that she can't go home and drink all day. Well, I can't start drinking right now because I have to go pick up Billy in 3 hours. I like the 2-hour snow delays, though.
I wouldn't know because we haven't had any.
Yeah, you haven't had any. I understand
no delays whatsoever.
Lots of 2-hour delays. Sleep in a little bit. Kids, 7:30 is awfully early to me. Did you go to school at 7:30 in the morning? Like, I'm trying to remember as a kid in North Salem Elementary School.
I have no idea what time I went.
If I did, then that means I would have had to be on the bus at 6:30 in the morning because I was on the bus for an hour there at Redneck Liston, picking up lots of hillbillies and then going to elementary school.
Yeah, I have no idea. I couldn't begin to tell you what time I went to school. I don't know what time I got to work today.
This lady, I think she's whining because she has to do her job.
Is this anything? A Philly neighborhood discovered that they had a potentially explosive gas leak thanks to a dog that kept digging a hole in the concrete of the home's front yard. When the owner checked on the dog's bizarre behavior, a gas leak was discovered. Here is the owner of the dog discussing everything going on.
He kept digging holes in the yard. I didn't think anything of it. Had a gas leak in the house prior to this, earlier in the month. I was having some issues with my heater, got a gas reader, checked the house, nothing in the house. Checked outside when he did it again on the 21st, and I said, you know what, let me check the hole. Checked the hole, was gas. They worked nonstop for 3 days, fixed everything up, and for them to say that a light switch could have blew up the whole house was just really, really, really mind-blowing. I'm so thankful for God, thankful for my baby boy.
Yeah, those gas leaks are scary, man. You heard her say it right there, a light switch, just by simply turning it on. If you let this gas leak go unchecked, you've seen footage.
I've seen Uncle Lewis drop his stogie at the Griswold's house.
The storm sewer?
Right.
That's what you're comparing this to?
Yes.
You could have had the same sort of situation as Uncle Lewis? Okay.
Which brings us to great moments in gas leak history.
Really?
Here's John Kerry at the climate convention farting.
On.
Those things that are killing people on a daily basis.
One more time, please, Allison.
So subtle, you got to pay attention.
Those things that are killing people on a daily basis.
Great moments in gas leak history. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Hammer and Nigel here. Boy, I sure am glad that I am an American Standard customer. I have American Standard dealers come out to my house on a regular basis, checking out my furnace, making sure everything's okay for the winter. If you need service, Hammer's going to tell you who you need to check out.
How about Family Heating and Air? The Morris family and their staff ready to take care of you this winter. You could call Rachel, Marcus, or Malia today. Make sure your furnace is safe and ready for the extreme, nasty weather that is prominent this time of year. Family Heating and Air always encourages you to call them for a free second opinion. If you got a quote from another company and it seems a little high, get a follow-up one from Family, because nobody takes care of you like Family. 317-577-8077. That's 577-8077. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
Has the holiday season left you overwhelmed, stressed out, and overweight? Do you feel frustrated when you think about what you need to do to be healthy and feel better? You deserve a simple approach to a stronger, healthier, and more enjoyable life. Exercise Inc. has been helping people in Central Indiana reach their health and fitness goals for 20 years. The approach is simple. Strength train with a certified coach once a week for 20 minutes. Adopt the 9 simple habits you need to follow to change your health and lose weight. Then get out there and enjoy life because you'll be stronger and have more energy and you're going to feel better and you'll lose weight and you'll probably even look better too. And you may even be able to get off of some of those prescription medications. Exercise Inc., Avon, Brownsburg, Greenwood, Zionsville, and now in Fishers. The studios are private, no mirrors, no music, and no spandex. Just you and a professional coach working to reach your goals for the new year. Go to exerciseinc.com today to sign up for a free consultation.
My name is Donita, and I cared for my mother for 8.5 years. There were times where I was like, I can't do this alone. Then I found CareForth. They gave me the resources and the confidence to care for Mom at home. They even paid me. I'm so happy I was able to care for Mom, but even more grateful I wasn't alone. When I say they're like family, I mean it.
Caring for a loved one at home? Get support and get paid by visiting careforth.com. That's careforth.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's going to get colder. 14 degrees with plenty of clouds over the circle. The radar shows you might notice a few snow flurries. Low of 5 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:32. Snowfall started early this morning, says forecaster Andrew White.
Depending on where you were, but generally between about 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. is when the heaviest snow is falling.
Up next is a wind chill advisory that starts at 7. White says temperatures will start to go up next week. The government has avoided a shutdown for now after President Biden signed a funding bill this morning to keep the government operating through March. But Congress is still working to pass budget appropriations bills for 2024.
Instead of wasting more time on partisan appropriation bills that violate the budget agreement 2/3 of them voted for last spring, House Republicans must finally do their jobs and work across the aisle to pass full-year funding bills that deliver for the American people.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. She claims Republicans will have to work on passing Biden's $100 billion national security package, with that money going towards military help to Ukraine, the conflict in Israel, and the southern border. Alec Baldwin indicted again on charges of involuntary manslaughter with the shooting of a cinematographer on a movie set.
We've seen the initial case fall apart. It began to fall apart January of last year, and then it actually was dismissed in April of 2023. And now we get to this point, the grand jury indicting Alec Baldwin again. He has maintained, obviously, throughout this that he is absolutely innocent, that it is not his fault. He did not pull the trigger, he says. There are many experts who would say that gun cannot fire without a trigger being pulled. Then there'll be the questions, of course, of why and how did that live bullet get into the chamber of that weapon.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt. Some lawmakers at the State House are working with nonprofit Samaritan's Feet to give people shoes who need them.
Having shoes that fit is a luxury many of us take for granted. The reality is that many vulnerable children and seniors don't, and that can affect learning, confidence, physical ability, and independent.
Republican Lori Goss Reeves of Marion. You can help by dropping off a pair of shoes at the State House before March. The closing bell report brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management. The Dow up by 395 today, finishing at 37,863. The NASDAQ increased by 255 to 15,310. The S&P 500 up by 58 to 4,839. Those are each all-time highs today for the S&P 500 and NASDAQ. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:34.
At Absolute Wealth Management, LLC, we understand that your retirement and taxes are inseparable. And if you're over 50, we're offering a special deal to kickstart your financial journey in 2024. You can have your 2023 tax return prepared and filed, including Schedules A, B, and D, for just $79.95. This can be the start of a lifelong profitable partnership with Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. All our retirement planning clients will continue to receive the substantial discount for tax filing and preparation as part of our ongoing retirement marathon that that focuses on protecting everything you've worked so hard to build while still providing growth to help elevate your lifestyle in retirement. Take absolute control of your retirement. Call us now at 317-288-0634, 317-288-0634, or visit AbsoluteWealthManagementLLC.com. Investment advisory services offered through Gradient Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Gradient Advisors, LLC, and its advisors do not render tax, legal, or accounting advice.
With traffic at 435, here's Alan Green.
Thanks, Harrison. 465 northbound is heavy now from Shadeland up to 69. 65 southbound before 44. A crash blocking the right lane. Traffic backs up from there. 69 southbound is tight between 96 and 465. Southbound Man at Epler, a stall partially blocking traffic, and traffic is backed up there as well. This report brought to you by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland online at drexelin.com. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This evening, the snow showers slow down, but a few flurries are certainly possible from time to time. Low around 5 degrees outside, winds out of the northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. It'll be another cold one out there by our Saturday morning. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist from Suitors for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Yes, I'm a mess with an S on my chest, got stressed.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Yeah, you know, I'm old enough to remember when the doofuses in the public health establishment, the liars in Washington, Dr. Fauci would say, well, we've got to lock the country down. We can't let you go to work because if we do, COVID is going to bring our healthcare system to a halt. Hospitals will collapse. The whole system will collapse. Meanwhile, COVID was rampant throughout the entire country, and none of that happened.
There was a big ship in New York. Remember this? Like the big floating medical hospital.
The USNS Comfort. It was the Mercy class hospital ship. Donald Trump gave the okay for that to go dock up at New York and Manhattan or wherever, wherever. And they used it for like a month. Literally, I'm looking at an article here. They used it for a month to treat like 180 patients. And when that probably could have been used, Cuomo could have used that ship to put the elderly patients with COVID inside instead of sending them back into the nursing homes, right?
Where many of them died.
Yes, exactly. So our hospitals didn't collapse. Some of them were empty. Some of them had to fire nurses because people were too scared to come to the emergency room for other things, other ailments. Now, I'm not saying every hospital was like that.
No, some were, I'm sure, were
stressed.
Full. Yeah.
Some were stressed. But I'm just old enough to remember the threat of the healthcare and the collapse was a big-time headline. Well, it's happening in Denver, but yet I'm not talking about COVID. I am talking about the migrant crisis affecting the U.S. and local economy and healthcare establishment. Denver's main public hospital is deep in the red after all the illegal migrants receiving hundreds of millions of dollars worth of treatments they were unable to pay for.
So migrants are crossing over into the United States because there's basically no border there at this point. And the Biden administration loves this. They think it's cute. They think they can make them voters one day. And as a result of this, these people, some of them families, some of them just individuals, they're going to the hospital to get treatment and they can't pay for it. So now all these hospitals that have been wasting, I don't want to say wasting, but exercising all their time and effort on these patients, they're going belly up a little bit. They're struggling because they're not getting paid for the treatment.
8,000 migrants, and migrants, I don't even like that. 8,000 illegal immigrants came to the city of Denver, made around 20,000 visits to the healthcare system. And we're talking dental emergencies, mental health, childbirth, counseling, mental health counseling. I just...
Some of those folks probably saw some things at the border.
Well, of course, but I'm just saying we're all worried about the healthcare establishment in the hospitals collapsing. Meanwhile, it is really happening in Denver because they're $130 million in the red because they keep having to treat illegal immigrants that are allowed in through the southern border because of policies from Joe Biden.
And I wonder what it's like in Chicago or New York. These other places that
This is just one story, yeah.
pounding on their chest, we are sanctuary cities. But then when their bluff got called, now they're saying, please don't come, please don't come. Denver is the first one we're hearing about. Denver is the first one where we've got, some statistical data. I wonder what it's like in Chicago, because I bet it's worse. I bet it's worse in Washington, D.C., and I bet it's worse in New York City. So keep an eye on this story. The same people who told you those awful, unvaccinated people, they're the ones that are going to shut down the healthcare system. I bet they don't say a damn word about this situation actually causing problems for the healthcare system. Dateline, New Jersey, a New Jersey gas station may be getting fined after 26 drivers reported issues with the gasoline. 58% water gasoline.
What?
Was at this gas station in New Jersey, and people were putting this in their cars. Many cars broke down.
Well, yeah.
There was flooding in the area, and authorities believe that water may have leaked into the holding tanks for the gas.
Okay.
Here's a motorist talking about the issues that he encountered.
It was people around the corner that was broken down. Even down the highway, people broke down. It was a whole mess. And as I was putting gas, everybody was screaming at me not to get gas. And when I got out the car, took the pump off, and the guy was trying to make me pay for the gas, and I didn't. And kind of find out it was everybody's car was getting broke down.
You ever had, and this is a loaded question, you ever had bad gas, Nigel?
I've almost accidentally put diesel. Oh, no, I've actually accidentally put unleaded in a diesel engine, which would have been a disaster. But I've never heard of this. I've never heard of some sort of flood happening and then the, seeping into the gas tanks, underground gas tanks. And by the way, I wouldn't pay for it either.
58% water after somebody inspected it. And God love him, my father-in-law, the late, great Brownie, Dave Brown.
Yep.
Anytime there was something wrong with the car, he swore it was bad gas. Like he could be driving down the road and a tire flies off, bullet goes through the side of the door. Ah, damn it, I got bad gas. Well, no, I'm not really sure that's the case there, but
love it.
You do you.
Love Brownie.
Allison, ever had bad gas?
I don't think so. But now I'm a little paranoid about it. I would be so upset. You just fill up the gas tank and you go, a mile, and then it breaks down?
That would be awful. And as passionate as you are talking about it, I think you should start a podcast. Bad Gas with Allison. Bad Gas with Allison. And each week you have a new guest come on and you guys talk about having bad gas.
I'm all gassed up.
Love it.
I would download every episode.
I would too. It would be the first thing I listen to in the morning and the last thing I listen to at night. 7 years ago today, on this date, I believe we were here, 2017. Yeah, we were on the air at that point. We had just taken over for the Chicks at that point, but it was the inauguration of Donald Trump. Do you remember the concert? Because remember,
they had trouble finding bands.
Yeah. It wasn't like, Obama's inauguration. Everybody that's a leftist in Hollywood, those big stars, they were lining up to go. Trump had a hard time finding people. Do you remember any of the artists that played his inaugural ball?
Who are the people? Who's the guys that sing Kryptonite?
Three Doors Down. Yep.
Was that one of them?
Yes.
Was that right? Okay.
Three Doors Down, Lee Greenwood, Toby Keith, and the Piano Guys. That was the lineup for Donald Trump's inaugural ball.
What's the Piano Guys?
Well, I believe they play piano. I'm not really sure. I'm just going to go on a limb and say I think they play the piano. They do cover songs on the piano, though. I've seen some of their instrumental stuff. I think I've played it at weddings before. They'll take popular songs and put it onto a piano.
I think I'm looking at the list of performers for Obama's inaugural celebration. Beyonce. These are this is a concert that actually featured performances. Beyonce, Mary J. Blige, John Bon Jovi, Garth Brooks, Mariah Carey, Sheryl Crow, Josh Groban, Herbie Hancock, John Legend, John Mellencamp. And so who did Trump get?
Toby Keith, Lee Greenwood, Three Doors Down of the Piano Guys. And it seems like only yesterday, 7 years ago on this date, that we had Donald Trump call into this show and talk about his inauguration concert.
My inauguration concert in Washington was unbelievably spectacular. It was very diverse. We just had so many amazing people. I think there was a Molly Hatchet tribute band out there. I'm not really sure. All right, I got to get going. I just got a text from the Secret Service that a sniper just took down two incredibly overweight guys. They believe that one of them may be Rosie O'Donnell.
7 years ago today on this date. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Your next new vehicle is coming from Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield, where you get more out of your next service appointment at Andy Moore Ford. With Ford Pickup and Delivery, they'll come to you. Andy Moore Ford will pick up your vehicle, service it, and return it to your home or office. It doesn't get much more convenient than that. And you could say hello to more rebates. With federal and state incentives, you could save more on your EV purchase. Plus, with updated federal regulations, you can claim up to $7,500 instantly on site. Who doesn't want to save more? Andy Moore Ford is your place for a new or used Ford vehicle. Talk to them today about their service, talk about their selection, and if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. It's a new year and you've waited long enough for a new vehicle. Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield, 2713 East Main Street, 2713 East Main Street, or online at andymoreford.com. That's Andy Moore, M-O-H-R, andymoreford.com.
With help from Indiana Pathways for Aging, I'm managing my health challenges right here at home, exactly where I want to be.
My husband's Parkinson's is progressing, but we're determined to stay together like we have for more than 40 years. And with Pathways, we're getting the support we need to make that happen.
Mom may not be able to walk like she used to, but with transportation, help making meals, and personal care through Pathways, she's getting all the care she needs right in her neighborhood. And I have peace of mind.
If you're a Hoosier Medicaid member age 60 or older, Pathways, a new program from the Indiana Family and Social Services Administration, can help you get care your way, to live life your way. The program begins in summer of 2024. To learn more, call 87-PATHWAY-4 or visit in.gov/pathways.
If you're facing $10,000, $20,000, or even $30,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt, there are programs available that can consolidate those debts into one single reduced payment you can afford if you qualify. Accredited Debt Relief is on a mission to help you become debt-free in just 24 to 48 months. They've helped over 300,000 qualified consumers. Hardworking Americans just like you pay off more than $3 billion in debt, earning them an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Accredited Debt Relief will tailor the program to fit your specific budget and financial situation. So call Accredited Debt Relief now for your free no-obligation savings estimate and let them help you take control of your financial destiny.
Call 800-530-3939. 800-530-3939. That's 800-530-3939. 800-530-3939. Program and services not available in all states.
Having health insurance is important. So, if you or anyone in your family has Medicaid or CHIP, listen up. Check your mail for a renewal form from your state. Complete the form and mail it back right away so you don't lose your coverage. If you do lose Medicaid or CHIP, visit healthcare.gov to see if you're eligible to enroll in a low-cost, quality health plan. Keep your family covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Hypnosis to destroy unwanted cravings. Also, stop smoking with Mark Patrick. Destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Seminars Thursday, January 25th at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. And Saturday, January 27th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
Any heating and air conditioning problem you've got, we can take care of you. 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake kitchen and bath cabinets. Visit Drexel's new design center on 146th Street at River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com.
I'd rather be folding laundry.
This is gonna be fun.
Said no one ever. Also, no one enjoys wasting time in traffic. That's why we love saving you time. Matt Bear Traffic.
Backups are already starting.
On 93 WIBC.
Alan Green is filling in for Matt Bear.
Thank you. On southbound 65 before 44, that earlier accident has cleared. The backup has dissipated. 465 northbound at 69, a stall is a right lane blocked. Traffic is jammed back from Pendleton Pike. 69 southbound heavy 96 to 465. And southbound Man at Epler, a stall blocking traffic. Traffic backed up most of the way to Thompson. This report brought to you by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake kitchen and bath cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland online at drexelin.com. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Coming up at 5:30, just after 5:30 when the news hits, Breitbart editor-in-chief Alex Marlow scheduled to join us. Looking forward to that. Right now, 15 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
And we go back. This is the moment.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
This cracks me up. Even this British toddler knows that New York City is a hellhole. Listen to this. There's a couple clips that are going viral on social media. One is this clip of this British toddler being brutally honest in his review about being in New York City.
Mama, I don't like here in New York. Why? Because there's a lot of rubbish. You said it's pretty. Look at all the stuff on the floor. So many people here. Mom, I don't like New York. Oh, what's so stinky? Mama, can I get a mask? It's stinky.
Okay, I think that's a pretty good general description of what you could find on a day-to-day basis in certain parts of New York City right now.
A lot of rubbish, a lot of people, really stinky. That's it. You just described it, my friend.
My wife wants to take, and you know what? I have some friends that took their family to New York over Christmas, and the pictures look great. They look like they were having a blast. My wife wants to take our daughter to New York. I'm like, have fun. Watch where you go. Watch. There's some areas of that place, just like any place you go, that
right
are better than others. You know what I mean?
Things get a little dicey when the sun goes down in certain spots. Hell, when the sun is up, it's a little dicey. And don't ride the subway.
And don't ride the subway. And depending on what day it is, there could be a protest blocking your way on the roads.
Correct. A lot going on there. Another clip going viral on the interwebs is this chef. It's a chef teaching his 6-to-1 grocery shopping method. Now, I'm not going to play you the audio here because we're a little short on time, but the chef is basically saying 6-to-1 grocery shopping. This is a hack on how you do things. You buy 6 vegetables, 5 fruits, 4 proteins, 3 starches, 2 sauces or spreads, and 1 fun thing for yourself.
Yeah, it's just going to lead to me being hungry with a bunch of spoiled crap in my fridge.
What am I going to do with all these vegetables? Eat them? You eat them. 6-to-1 sucks.
I had a positive experience at a grocery store last night. Not going to say where because it was kind of iffy. I'll tell you why, just real quick. I had to stop at the grocery store on the way home, and I picked up a bunch of stuff, including a bottle of Fireball for the weekend. Dry as January. Got home and got the milk in the fridge, got the other stuff. No Fireball. I'm thinking, crap, did I forget to GD? And so I'm looking on the receipt. Yep, I paid for Fireball. So I went back to the grocery. Nobody really kind of had any idea what was going on. There was a kid working behind the counter. I go, hey, look, I look at the receipt here. He goes, oh, so you're saying you paid for Fireball and you didn't get it? He goes, just go back and get another one.
Nice.
Now, I got to give credit where credit is due. I thought it was going to be a hassle. I thought they were going to think I was some degenerate alcoholic liar.
Well,
I walked right into that one.
There's a little gray area there.
Cheeks wide open on that one. Thanks. God,
I'm glad you didn't mention the store because I think what that kid did was wrong.
Well, I didn't get my Fireball. Whoever was.
Oh yeah, none of us got our Fireball. We're all outside just peeing. I've seen that excuse a million times.
I literally just walked right back there and walked right out with a fireball. I did show him my receipt.
Come back an hour later. I bought this fireball. Find a different worker and see if it works again.
It probably slid out of the bag. It's underneath, but the first bottle's underneath my seat right now in the truck, probably.
We've got Beer Sample Friday on the way, and the top stories next.
Ring in the new year with the ultimate timeless gift, a diamond from Diamonds Direct, right over there at Keystone at the Crossing. Whether you're ready to pop the question, whether you have an anniversary or a birthday celebration coming up, Diamonds Direct can make this the New Year's to remember forever. Diamonds Direct is the area's destination for exquisite diamonds in all shapes and sizes.
The experts at Diamonds Direct, they're going to walk you through every step of the process when it comes to buying that piece of bling that she is going to love. Whether the bling is a ring, whether it's earrings, whether it's an engagement ring, wedding band, you name it, Diamonds Direct, not only do they have the lowest prices, but they're going to give you options for your money. And they will tell you why things cost the way they do. They will stay in your budget because the staff is the absolute best. DiamondsDirect.com. Valentine's Day right around the corner. Keystone at the Crossing. Diamonds Direct. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Chuck loves the word grit, and I think he saw that in his father because his dad worked very hard.
Dorn Goodrich on Family and her son, Chuck Goodrich.
We struggled. We had 4 children. We both worked, but we always paid our bills.
Chuck Goodrich was raised in a working-class home focused on faith, sacrifice, and a strong work ethic. As a young man, Chuck Goodrich worked at a gas station and a pizza shop. To pay his way through Purdue, Chuck worked at a campground, living in a tent one summer to save more money.
I said, but son, where are you going to live? He said, well, I got a tent, and I'm going to stay in that tent. He was willing to do whatever it took.
Now, Chuck Goodrich's sacrifice, grit, and relentless work ethic have paid off. Goodrich employs 2,000 people at Gaylor Electric.
He wants people to succeed because God gave him a heart for people.
Chuck Goodrich, conservative leader, Hoosier heart.
I'm Chuck Goodrich, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Go with Chuck Goodrich Committee.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. It's our 97th annual New Year's sale. Save 50% off on all Lazy Boy and Smith Brothers of Bern. Save an extra $100 off on every Sealy mattress and Ultra Comfort lift chair, and get up to 4 years interest-free financing on every Tempur-Pedic and Stearns & Foster mattress. New Year's sale ends Saturday, January 20th, only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Major phone carriers make you sign contracts with rigid data plans to trap you into a kind of forced phonogamy. Sounds pretty insecure if you ask me. At Consumer Cellular, we believe in a more consensual and healthy form of phonogamy, free of contracts and more flexible to your data needs. This way, you stick around not because we force you to with contracts and fees, but because you love our phone plans. Like ardently love our phone plans. Phonogamously. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Christmas has come and gone. You got some great gifts, and now you're realizing you've got new firearms, and you may not need all those old firearms. Now is the time to talk to Premier Arms in Brownsburg. Check out the buy room and find out how much you can get for your used firearms. They're the best at giving top dollar for your used firearms. Talk to Premier Arms today. 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg. 317-858-3030 and online at premierarms.com.
Dads happen. There's a whole lot of stuff that can mess up the look of your vehicle. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal. PDR is paintless dent removal that saves your factory finish and is way less invasive than traditional body shop repairs. And it's faster too, sometimes same day. Google Kill a Dent Removal and check out the reviews and photos. Then schedule your repair. Hail baseballs, kids, fender benders, shopping carts, flying cows, angry X's, and anything else that leaves dents. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal.
Coming up in 2 minutes, following up this morning's snow, is a wind chill advisory. Why State Police in Central Indiana were so busy this morning, and advancements in DNA technology helped cops in Indiana solve another cold case. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
The final countdown in New Hampshire. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. One last weekend of campaigning before primary day Tuesday. Former President Trump still holding a double-digit lead over second-place Nikki Haley in the latest polls and calling his former UN ambassador weak on China and Russia. Haley firing back today.
We need someone who's dealt with Russia, China, and Iran every day. That's not going to play footsie with them. That's not going to compliment them. That's going to let them know what we expect of them.
But a former rival is expected to back Trump tonight at a rally in Concord.
Sources tell Fox that both Haley and Trump called to try to woo Senator Tim Scott on their side, but in the end, the senator chose the front runner in Trump, despite the fact that Haley is the one that appointed Scott to the Senate when she was governor of South Carolina.
Fox's Brian Yennis. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, running a distant third in the New Hampshire polls, isn't giving up.
Leadership is about taking the reins. It doesn't matter if it's an uphill battle. It's not about trying to protect your own political hide. It's not about trying to position yourself down the road. If there's an opportunity to lead, you take it, and that's what we did.
DeSantis telling Fox News he remains concerned about Republicans being able to win with Trump leading the ticket. President Biden at a conference of mayors meeting.
Today we get some good news. We just signed a bill to keep the government open.
Hailing a stopgap spending bill as talks continue on a separate deal to link his request for more aid to Israel and Ukraine with border issues. The president says he's ready to act, though it's still not clear how many policy changes he's willing to accept on immigration. Defense attorneys for Alec Baldwin say they will fight a new manslaughter charge over a movie set shooting death. A previous charge was withdrawn, but Baldwin was indicted again today after new analysis on the gun. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Time to put your furnace back to work. 13 degrees, cloudy on the circle. The radar clear outside of some snow flurries. Wind chill advisory kicks in at 7 tonight with a low of 5. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. From snow to cold temperatures.
Really cold temperatures. I'm Ryan Hedrick. By early Saturday morning, you'll notice a considerable drop.
Anywhere from -10 to -15. And this cold weather is going to stick with us through Saturday into Saturday night.
But Andrew White of the National Weather Service says next week it will be warmer if you consider 20 degrees warmer. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
This morning's rush hour included more than 40 accidents. State Police Sergeant John Perrine believes the snow had something to do with it.
I think people are driving very selfishly today. By that I mean they're driving too fast for the conditions and too fast for some of the other drivers who aren't comfortable driving as fast as they want to.
He says when the weather's bad, plan ahead, leave early, and be patient. DNA technology helped state police solve an attempted murder cold case out of Scott County from 1995. The identity of the suspect won't be released, but advancements in DNA technology helped the cops find that suspect. He was in his 30s when the crime happened, moved out of state, and died in 2003, say state police. A janitorial service out of Jeffersonville is closing, according to a post on the Indiana Department of Workforce Development website. GDI Services did not say why they're closing up shop, but 67 people are expected to be without a job by March 5th. Some lawmakers at the State House are collecting shoes for people who need them. John Herrick explains.
Members of the Indiana House of Representatives have partnered with the nonprofit organization Samaritan's Feet to get those shoes. One of those is Republican Lori Goss Reeves of Marion.
Having shoes that fit is a luxury many of us take for granted. The reality is that many vulnerable children and seniors don't. And that can affect learning, confidence, physical ability, and independence.
You can either take some shoes to the State House or make a donation online at SamaritansFeet.org. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
So do you want your money to work a lot harder for you this year? Hey, what's up? It's Hammer and Nigel. Here's how you can get a great yield on your savings without betting the farm.
Oh, please, Hammer, tell me more.
You can get a competitive return that's averaged 7% a year for the past 10 years. Plus, you get an upfront 13% bonus on your money.
No way.
Yeah, a competitive return that's averaged 7% a year for the past 10 years, plus an upfront 13% bonus. And it's all backed by one of the world's largest insurance companies. Get the details from Bill Demery, your retirement guy, right here in Indy. All you have to do is call 317-932-9912. You know, he's my retirement guy as well, right?
Well, Hammer, you're a smart man, and Bill's my retirement guy, too.
Thank you. Get all the details by calling 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912.
With traffic at 5:05, here's Alan Green.
Thanks, Harrison. 465 westbound at 75th. The stall is a right lane block. Traffic is stopped from Pendleton Pike. Northbound 37 jams from Epler to 465 through the roadwork. 65 southbound is heavy 21st to Meridian. Northbound Collector backs up between Ohio and the North Split. And on 465 westbound, a delay from Michigan to the Dogleg. This report brought to you by Positive Coaching Alliance. Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Info at positivecoach.org. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This evening, the snow showers slow down, but a few flurries are certainly possible from time to time. Low around 5 degrees outside, winds out of the northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. It'll be another cold one out there by our Saturday morning. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Junior Sudas for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it.
Last night, Nikki Haley, running for that GOP presidential nomination, had a town hall on CNN. So, what did Trump do, Hammer?
He countered it by doing an interview with Sean Hannity on Fox.
I wonder what's got better ratings.
This isn't the first time that he's done a little fighting fire with fire, so to speak. When I think it was CNN had that one-on-one debate between DeSantis and Nikki Haley, Donald Trump did his own town hall on Fox. So he's always offering counter-programming, as we call it in the broadcast biz. So Donald Trump clearly going all in on ripping Nikki Haley. It's like Ron DeSantis doesn't even exist to him anymore. Here is Donald Trump last night going all in on Nikki Haley and the primary process in New Hampshire.
So Democrats are allowed to vote, which they're going to vote for her because they don't want to run against me. They want to run against her. You know, it's a very simple system. We are leading Biden in every poll. Michigan just came out. We're leading by 11. Georgia just came out. We're leading by 13 points. We're leading everywhere now. And she's not. You know, she has one obsolete poll that she likes. She's about 2 months old, where she was leading Biden. Well, those days are gone. She's not leading Biden anymore. The problem is the Democrats want her to run desperately, so they have a lot of Democrats signing up in New Hampshire.
Yeah, a lot of Democrats donating to her campaign.
The co-founder of LinkedIn put a buttload of money into the Haley camp, but still is on the record of saying he plans to vote for Joe Biden in the presidential election.
Let's be honest. If Joe Biden doesn't make it to the finish line, I think there's a lot of Democrats that would like to see Nikki Haley in place.
Right. And what should that tell you if you're somebody that wants conservative values in the White House?
And I say that because she does have some Democrat-ish tendencies and policies.
100%. So let me ask you this question, Nige. And if you're in your car, if you're at work, I want you to think about the answer to this too. Do you think Donald Trump now is more popular than he was when he ran in 2020 or when he ran for president prior to 2016?
I think more popular than both. Because especially in 2016, where people kind of thought it was all a laugh, haha, Donald Trump's running, when all of a sudden they realized, oh no, this is serious. But right now, with all the crap he's going through, all the establishment trying to shut him down, the DOJ, Joe Biden trying to put him in jail, keep him from running, secretaries of state taking his name off ballots. Yes, I think he's more popular now than ever.
So Donald Trump talked about this last night on this sit-down interview on Fox. Why do you think you're more popular now than you ever have been?
Because the Biden administration is so bad, and we now have a contrast. You didn't have a contrast so much before, and now you have a contrast. Why? What happened? You know, we get the most votes of any sitting president in history, and then somebody else takes over, and they take a look at what we had versus what they have now. And the difference is so stark. It's so massive. It's so different. The country is a different place. We were respected all over the world. We got the largest tax cuts ever, the largest regulation cuts ever. We rebuilt our military.
So his angle is it's not even about the legal stuff. You know, we told you what Joe Biden's presidency was going to be like. An open border, rampant crime. You're going to pay more at the grocery store. You're going to pay more at the gas pump. Well, people are actually seeing it now. Maybe they didn't believe him the first time, so there's a little something to compare and contrast with.
It's funny. We've been telling you about this for 4 years. We've been telling you all about this the past couple of years, and now it's just starting to come to fruition for Biden and the Democrats.
So while Trump was on Fox, Nikki Haley was on CNN, and she was flip-flopping on something that she's talked about quite a bit. In the past, she's been asked time after time, what is your stance on big tech companies? Should they have to verify people before they're allowed to get a social media account? And in the past, Nikki Haley's been all in. Absolutely. Big tech, they should allow people to be doxxed on social media.
So you have to give your name and information, and you can't have it like an anonymous account, is what you're saying, right?
Which, listen, I don't like anonymous accounts, but if you're going down the avenue of free speech means there's going to be online trolls that have the right to say things that you disagree with. So here's what Nikki Haley had to say last night about whether or not big tech companies should have to verify people for them to have a social media account.
I'm not saying that Americans have to disclose their name. What I'm saying is you have millions of foreign bots.
All right, stop right there. She says, I'm not saying that Americans have to be verified.
Yeah.
This is a little montage set to music that we put together of pretty much every single interview she's given talking about this.
We need our social media companies to verify everybody. Every person on social media should be verified by their name. Every person on social media needs to be verified. They need to verify every single person on their outlet.
Let's play some audio from last night's CNN Town Hall.
I'm not saying that Americans have to disclose their name.
Oh, okay. Just everyone is what got me confused there, Nikki. We've talked about the GOP here. Now let's talk about the front runner for the Dems. Joe Biden was giving a speech, and
that's the front runner for the Dems, you think?
Right now it is, at least.
All right.
And I want you to listen to this. He caught himself in a rambling story and then basically admitted he lied and had no idea what he was talking about. We're going to make this another edition of Joe Biden's Fine.
And now, Hannah and Nigel present Joe Biden's Fine. Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. Please disperse.
So Joe Biden, he's up at the podium. He's asking for Congresswoman Ross in the crowd. And then he says that he just got his picture taken with her. But then he says that's not true and that he forgot because she's actually not there at all.
Appreciate it very much. I also want to mention Congresswoman Deborah Ross. Where's Deborah? I just had my picture taken with her. That's probably why she left. No, all kidding aside. Anyway, she couldn't be here, actually. That's not true. I got it mixed up. And she has, she fights very hard for the people of this district, and she's up in Washington right now.
Where is she? I just had my picture taken with her a minute ago. Oh, she's not even here.
Kind of had the same cringy vibes as when he was looking around the room for the late Congresswoman from Indiana, Jackie Walorski.
And I want to thank all of you here for including bipartisan elected officials like Representative Governor, Senator Braun, Senator Booker, Representative Jackie. Are you here? Where's Jackie?
No.
I didn't think she was going to be here.
It's so bad. Awkward.
And this concludes another edition of Joe Biden's Fine.
What was that?
This has been Joe Biden's Fine. Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here.
Anyway.
So, Nige, we got Beer Sample Friday coming up here in just a little bit.
Yes, sir.
But if you're looking for a reason to drink, something other than Beer Sample Friday, how about this? Turning 78 years old today, Dolly Parton.
Wow.
America's sweetheart,
Oh,
Dolly
yeah.
Parton. She's 78. Most of her body is still only in its 20s. And I remember at Thanksgiving on that Dallas Cowboys football game.
Oh, she performed at halftime, didn't she?
Yeah, she rocked it. Her halftime show was way better than that turd that the Lions brought out there. And I think Tony Romo may have been a little hot under the collar for Miss Dolly Parton.
She was wearing the Cowboys cheerleading outfit. Yeah. You saw that coming, didn't you? You said, I think she's going to go with a little cheerleading outfit tonight. And I was like, wow, it's pretty good.
What do you think we're going to see?
I mean, she looks amazing, right?
You never know what's going to happen here.
Who doesn't like Dolly Parton?
No, she's absolutely an American treasure.
Poor Jim Nance is trying to talk about the game, and Tony Romo's like, no, I want to talk about Dolly Parton in that cheerleader outfit. Great moments in Dolly Parton history.
Yeah.
This is when Dolly Parton shared her thoughts on Joe Biden.
Well, I say we hire a couple of wranglers to go upstairs and beat the shit out of him.
Great moments in Dolly Parton history. Let's take a look at the roads. What's going on out there?
All right. Well, 465 westbound at 75th. We have a stall. It's got the right lane blocked and traffic is stopped up from Pendleton Pike. 65 northbound near Meridian. A crash has the right lane blocked. Traffic jams back from the north split. As a result, the northbound collector is heavy from Ohio up to the north split. And 69 southbound slows between 96th and about 82nd. This report brought to you by Discover. Introducing Discover Cash Back Debit, a game-changing checking account with cash back. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashbackdebit. Discover Bank member FDIC. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
15 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Not only has it been freezing outside, but it's just going to get colder. You're probably like me. You don't like leaving the house with those temperatures. Look, if you're in need of new windows, put your hand up to your window right now if you're at home. If the wind in the cold is seeping through, you need to get a hold of Window Nation right now. Window Nation wants to bring home show style savings to you. You can get deep discounts on your windows today without having to leave the comfort of your home. Window Nation will come to you.
How about this for a deal? 50% off all style of windows. Whatever style you like, 50% off. Plus, on top of that, 0% interest for 5 years. That is a deal. You're going to save thousands of dollars. You're going to love the way the windows look, but you have to call right now. If you got paid today, call right now and at least start a conversation. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Saved enough? Do you have a plan for Social Security and taxes in retirement? Hey, Casey Weed of Howard Bailey Financial, where our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. Financial peace of mind means knowing you've covered all of your bases, and for retirement, that begins with building a solid foundation. That's why we want to give you our Retire with Purpose toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you can't outlive. Plus, you'll receive a copy of my book, Job Optional. To get your complimentary toolkit, call or text the keyword INFO 42 to 866-482-9559. That's info 42 to 866-482-9559.
Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, savvy, staying ahead of the market at every turn, finding ways to do more with less, and taking advantage of every opportunity that comes their way. That's why Comcast Business is introducing the Small Business Bonus. For a limited time, you can get up to a $1,000 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle when you switch to Comcast Business, the company with the largest, fastest, reliable network. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call or go online to learn about the $1,000 bonus today.
Give your business a head start in 2024. Get started with internet and security for $49 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement when you add one unlimited mobile line. Call or go online to switch today. Ends 2/21/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 100 megabits per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
At Consumer Cellular, you get the same exact coverage as the largest carriers, but for up to half the cost. Same thing, up to half the cost. Up to half the cost for the same thing. 50% the money for 100% the same thing. I hope I'm making myself clear. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Half the cost savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single-line 5GB data plan with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single-line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plan offered by T-Mobile and Verizon May 2023.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's new design center on 146th Street at River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com.
We have the best technicians in the business here at Family. They'll take care of you every time. 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
This hour powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard air dealer in Indianapolis.
Okay, let's begin. Are you really okay with this?
Are you okay?
Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah!
Well, we just got done talking about one American treasure, Dolly Parton, turning 78 years old today. How about another American country music treasure, Reba McEntire? The NFL announced, Hammer, that Reba McEntire will sing the national anthem before the Super Bowl here coming up in a couple of weeks. Are you okay with this?
Oh, yeah. I'm 100% okay with this. And I was watching, I think it was CBS. She was doing an interview about it. This wasn't something that she was lobbying for. She was just sitting at home, hanging out, chilling, and then her phone rings, and it was her manager saying, is there any interest in singing at the Super Bowl?
I got the news from my manager, Justin McIntosh. He said that they wanted me to sing the national anthem at the Super Bowl, and I said, oh, my gosh. Well, let me think about that. And Rex Lynn, my boyfriend, who is a huge football fan, he said, yes, she'll do it. Absolutely. So.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah. And this isn't the first time Reba has sang the national anthem before a major event.
Really?
If you remember, back when WrestleMania came to Indianapolis at the Hoosier Dome in 1992.
What?
WrestleMania 8, Reba McEntire sang the national anthem for that. And the best part about that, because I was a kid watching this on pay-per-view, a lot of people were there. It was at the Hoosier Dome. Bobby Heenan, Indianapolis, Bobby Heenan, Bobby the Brain Heenan, after Reba McEntire finished singing, he said that it was Tito Santana's sister, Reba McEntire.
That was tremendous, Brian. Boy, can Tito's sister belt one out. Will you stop? It's Reba McEntire.
Reba McEntire. Bobby the Brain Heenan.
What an interesting piece of trivia. Very impressive.
And this takes us to great moments in national anthem history. Ladies and gentlemen, Frank Drebin. As bad as Frank Drebin was, I still think his rendition was better than Carl Lewis.
Oh no.
Say, can you see? And the Rockets, red flag.
Uh-oh.
I'll make up for it now. For the land of the free.
So bad. And if we're doing great moments in national anthem history, I'm going to take you down a different path to close this out here. This isn't anybody singing the national anthem. It's somebody upset that NFL players were kneeling for the national anthem.
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired.
Come on, Nigel, give it to me. Give it to me one time.
He's fired.
Fired.
Coyotes. All right, Hugh Hefner's 37-year-old widow, Crystal Hefner, who in 2021 spoke lovingly about her dead husband, Hugh Hefner, Playboy Empire. She's changed her tune a little bit, Hammer, because she's selling a book. Now she is saying he was an awful scumbag, quote, having to sleep with an 80-year-old. There's a price. Everything has a price. Are you okay with this?
No, I'm not, because she had a price, and the price was $10 million. That's what she got after Hugh Hefner passed away.
Wow.
She got $10 million. She willingly married him when she was in her 20s. Nobody had a gun to her head. This wasn't some sort of human trafficking thing. She was a gold digger. She knew what she was getting into. She willingly funneled that old man's hog, and now,
come on,
maybe she's blown some of the money. I don't know, but she's trying to get more money by ripping him in a new book. No, I'm not okay with that at all.
The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders are upset that Green Bay Packers players were talking trash to them during the Packers win at Dallas last week. Here's Cowboys cheerleader taking to TikTok to voice her frustrations.
So I cheer for the Cowboys, and y'all, the Cowboys versus Packers game last Sunday, I have never experienced such disrespect from the other team's players to the cheerleaders in my 5 years as an NFL cheerleader. Like, we would literally be minding our own business, and the Packers just scored a touchdown. This is one example. They would come up to us, standing on the sidelines, minding our own business, and start yelling at us. Like, sometimes it was this close to our face. Also, I feel like that's unsportsmanlike conduct.
Are you okay with this upset Cowboys cheerleader?
No.
I'm not even sure what she was talking about.
She's mad that when the Packers would score a touchdown, because the game was in Dallas, the cheerleaders are right there, either at the end of the end zone or on the sideline. The Packers players were talking some smack to the cheerleaders of America's team. If she's upset with anybody, she needs to be upset with the Dallas Cowboys. Stop the Packers from scoring touchdown after touchdown after touchdown, and maybe they don't get as mouthy. No, this is part of the game. It wasn't like one of the Packers spit on her or hit her or said something sexual to her. They were just running trash because they were boat racing America's team.
All right, last one. A New Jersey man is getting high praise for picking up over 24,000 cigarette butts from his neighborhood. And on top of that, for every butt he picked up, he donated a penny to the American Heart Association. His name is Jim, talking about his the good deed here.
As I picked up trash, I saw a lot of cigarette butts. So I decided, let me start picking them up. Maybe I can make a donation to the American Lung Association for each one I pick up.
Yeah.
It won't be significant, but every penny helps. And I thought, okay, 20,000 is a nice goal. I went to 22,000 and said, oh, I'll never reach that. And I did. And sometime in December, I said, I'm going to make one final goal, 23,000. And I finally ended the year at 24,185.
That's a lot of cigarette butts. Are you okay with this?
No, not at all. Because now this guy has set the precedence that people can just throw their cigarette butts out the window, and he's going to come by and pick them up. He's like the designated Dave of picking up cigarette butts here, and you could have just made the donation anyway. If you were really that passionate about donating to the American Heart Association, you didn't have to go full Hunter Biden, walking around on your hands and knees looking for things on the ground that have been in somebody's mouth. No, not okay with this.
Coming up next, special guest, Breitbart editor-in-chief, Alex Marlowe, right after a look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Temperatures are going to drop even more. Cloudy, 13 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. You get a clear radar low of 5 degrees tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:29. A wind chill advisory goes into effect tonight.
We're expecting wind chills to be, negative 15 or so. And then we're going to stay cold really through the start of the weekend. We'll have sub-zero temperatures for Saturday night.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service says some counties in northern Indiana got nearly half a foot of snow this morning. A tow truck driver from Michigan died in Indiana Thursday after he was hit by a truck that lost control and ran into the median in LaGrange County.
That tow truck was on the inside shoulder of the westbound lanes, and after sideswiping, the tow truck continued eastbound in the median, striking the original semi that was being winched out of the median, as well as the tow truck driver.
Indiana State Police Sergeant Ted Bonner says the truck was probably driving too fast. The victim was ID'd as Martin Troyer. President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke about the war in Gaza. Fox's Jared Halpern reports the two disagree on a two-state solution.
President Biden still believes in the promise and the possibility of a two-state solution for Israelis and Palestinians.
He recognizes that's going to take a lot of hard work. It's going to take a lot of leadership.
And White House National Security Council spokesman John Kirby says the president will keep making that case to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who has stated his opposition to a Palestinian state following the war in Gaza.
We're not going to agree on everything. We've said that. And good friends and allies can have those kinds of candid, forthright discussions, and we do.
Kirby says there is no change in the president's commitment to ensuring Israel's security and capabilities to defend itself. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The S&P 500 and NASDAQ hit all-time highs today. All three major averages are in the positive for the year, and new consumer data shows Americans are more confident in the economy. Donating shoes to Hoosiers in need is something you can take part in with Indiana lawmakers. John Herrick explains how.
Members of Indiana's House of Representatives have partnered up with the organization Samaritan's Feet to collect new or gently used athletic shoes.
By making a donation, whether that be through money or shoes, Hoosiers have a chance to really make a difference in someone's life.
Republican Lori Goss Reeves of Marion says you can drop off shoes at the State House or make a donation online at SamaritansFeet.org until March 1st. Then they get distributed all across Indiana. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The traffic at 531. Here's Alan Green.
But traffic still jam-packed from Pendleton Pike. 65 northbound heavy from the north split to Meridian from an earlier crash. 69 southbound slows between 82nd and 465. This report brought to you by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go, Drexel Interiors for Timberlake kitchen and bath cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland online at drexelin.com. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter. For instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This evening, the snow showers slowed down, but a few flurries are certainly possible from time to time. Low around 5 degrees outside, winds out of the northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. It'll be another cold one out there by our Saturday morning. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Junior Sudas for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. We'll go straight to the hotline and bring on Breitbart News Editor-in-Chief Alex Marlowe. Alex, Happy New Year, and congratulations on the newest addition to the Marlowe family.
That is so kind of you guys. You guys are the absolute best. I always love being on with you, and very kind of you to think of me.
You know, I actually was thinking of you when Trump was giving his victory speech, the Iowa caucuses, and then Rachel Maddow cut in and actually said and admitted to her audience, look, we're biased, and he says untrue things, so we're not going to air this. And that brought me back to your book, which you are re-releasing in paperback. I think you did it this week, Breaking the News. It made me think of Breaking the News and the collusion of corporate media and the Democrats.
Yeah, thank you, because I thought of it too, and it was very timely because it is being re-released this week, and thanks to everyone who's already picked it up. I know you guys were big champions of it at the time, but it is more relevant than ever, and one of the reasons is you look at these people like Rachel Maddow, who is propped up by the corporate establishment, is told is an impressive and smart person, flaunts a resume. You know, she's a Rhodes Scholar. She's supposed to be so brilliant. The way that she misled her millions of viewers on, in particular, the Russia collusion hoax. I document that so thoroughly in the book, she looks like a flat-out kook by the time you're done reading lie after lie after lie that she just tells with a straight face every night. And then she acts like she's got some authority over what is true. it shows you that not only is she a corrupt person, but she works for a corrupt media establishment, namely the people at NBC, Comcast, Universal who run her network. But it really is the entirety of the publishing industry who props her up and the Democrat Party in general. They're all in on this together, and they're that powerful that they can continue to lie. Instead of giving people pink slips, or whatever would be for I guess pink slips not the right word, but giving them let's say HR reviews at a minimum about how they're lying to the public. What they're doing is they're giving them Pulitzer prizes. Insane stuff. I could document it all, and it's time to read it.
Alex Jason Hammer here. Do you think, though, the public buys it? Because I don't think it matters if you're a Republican or a Democrat. I think if you ask most people in this country, do you feel like the television news networks lie to you? I think most people would say yes. So when Rachel Maddow goes up there and wags her finger at you because she's the bastion of truth, she knows what's real and what's not, do people actually buy that?
Yeah, this is a good point, and I think a lot of people in your audience, and this is why there's another pitch for the book, if you feel like you've read enough about how horrible the media is. I guarantee you haven't, and I do challenge some norms that conservatives have about it. But I do think we've, thankfully, thanks to talk radio and an alternative media like Breitbart, I think we've gotten through to most people how bad the media is. You can see it in the poll numbers. That's terrific news. And we have not gotten through our message to the people who run the various newsrooms and newspapers, which is actually kind of great. I'm a Los Angelino. I'm watching the Los Angeles Times crumble before our eyes. And the people in the newsroom are fighting to try to make sure that there's an equal level diversity after the next round of layoffs. So no meritocracy in place. It's the firing people basically based on color and not firing them based off of who's actually underperforming. That's exactly why these newsrooms are failing. But the other part of the book that I think is really important for people is it's a breakdown of how the media establishment was part of a corrupt conspiracy to rig the 2020 election. That's exactly what it is. It's a conspiracy to rig an election. But the thing that I think is where it differentiates my analysis from some others, I don't think the Dominion voting stuff was real. I don't think some of these voting systems and the viral stuff we saw online or the pizza boxes over windows, I don't think that's how it was rigged. I think it was rigged through the manipulation of information. And there's two components to that. There's one is keeping the public uninformed by the media and tech establishment, lying about the various candidates and blocking accurate information, going to incredible lengths to censor it and working with the government to do that. And then the other component is lying to us about the dangers of the coronavirus so that we changed our election rules to make it easier for Democrats to run mail-in voting campaigns. All of this is completely heinous, and it's all still in place. It's all a threat for this election.
Breitbart News Editor-in-Chief Alex Marlow here on the Hammer and Nigel Show, re-releasing his book, Breaking the News, in paperback, New York Times bestseller. So, Alex, we mentioned how MSNBC and CNN took Trump off the air during his victory speech. Are we seeing the same thing happen again that happened in 2020?
Yeah, well, what happened in 2016 was they all put Trump on and made fun of him. They got great ratings, and they didn't understand that Trump's audience, I think it was Selena Zito who put it correct, said that the audience was smart enough to know that we take Trump seriously but not literally, and his opponents take him literally but not seriously. And that's what they did in 2016, and it's kind of a brilliant quote, and it didn't work for them. Trump won, and it was one of these things where the media was held to fault for it because they had given him all this free press that they thought they were doing because people were watching Trump and thinking he was an idiot. No, most of us were watching him and thinking, wow, this guy's onto something here. He's saying some interesting new stuff. So they wouldn't do that in 2020. In 2020, they blacked him out more. They wouldn't air the speeches. They wouldn't even fact-check some of them because we saw through their fact-check lies. And, yes, so they're going to run that playbook again. They're only going to talk about Trump now with regards to either something that they think is really terrible that he did or one of his court cases, and they're not going to talk about the ideas that give him power.
Alex, you're one of the folks that from time to time gets access to former President Donald Trump. You've interviewed him a number of different times. How is Donald Trump different from 2020 or 2016?
Great question. There's a couple ways. There's one thing that I noticed the last time I was with him, which was about a month or so ago at Mar-a-Lago, is he's more conciliatory to people who are not necessarily inclined to vote for him, but he wants them to vote for him. He was kind of warm in a lot of ways to people who might differ with some of the things he did his first term, and he is trying to instill confidence in people that he's not going to make some of the same mistakes that he made the first time, in particular with regards to personnel, some of his hiring choices that did not please certain people, including himself. He thinks he knows better. He's smart enough to figure this out, and he's experienced enough to figure it out. And he really wanted to instill that in me. Also, some of his messaging on some of the more complicated areas of his record, like the issue of abortion, which is very complex, his record now, he acknowledged that. And I think if you hear him out, he's a very interesting and subtle take on the issue. And I think that it gives something to everyone. Personally, for me, I'm a pro-life guy, and I really liked his Supreme Court picks overturning Roe versus Wade. But there's a lot of people who are upset that led to a lot of energy in the Democrat political base, that they don't see how Republicans kind of fought fecklessly against Roe versus Wade for 50 years, and he single-handedly, with the help of all the supporters, but basically single-handedly got it overturned. He's acknowledging and embracing that part of his history, but he also doesn't want us to do something stupid like have a bunch of abortion measures on the ballot this year that favor Democrats because they turn out to vote. He gets all this stuff, and I thought it was pretty impressive the way he was stringing some of these narratives together. All that to say in a nutshell, he's incredibly smart. He's incredibly sharp, and even though he's getting older, he instilled a lot of confidence in me that though he's not going to get everything right, he's going to have a better shot of appointing the right people, and he's going to be on top of it on a personal level.
So it's over for the GOP race, right? I mean, after Iowa and the margin of victory there, I mean, we have New Hampshire, then South Carolina. I mean, this is Trump's to lose at this point, right?
So I actually think it's been over forever.
Yeah.
I thought there was never really a race, and I think once the Biden government started sifting through Melania's underwear drawer for state secrets, I thought that was pretty much official that he was at least going to get the nomination. But it was really official when Ron DeSantis' campaign turned out to be so terrible, historically bad. I'm a huge fan of Governor DeSantis as a governor, and it's still breathtaking how many mistakes were made.
What happened? I mean, what's he doing?
You know, this is one where we could do 20 minutes. We could maybe do an hour on this conversation. But he declared too late. He missed opportunities, I think, to take bold stances that would get him positive attention. Him not rushing to Trump's defense when Trump was getting attacked by the Biden government, I think was a huge mistake. I think he exaggerated good parts of his record. I think he played down things that were also good parts of his record. I think he got some of it wrong, the way he messaged about himself. But overall, it's a lack of charisma. He's just got no appeal to people. And I will say, guys, that he was the least communicative with Breitbart, which is that it's just not smart. I'm not trying to be a braggart, but I mean, the primary is very hard to win GOP primaries if you're not going to get Breitbart on at least on board. He was non-communicative, just terrible people in this communications department. All those people who were just tweeting mean things at everyone who disagreed with him all the time. Are you guys on Twitter enough to know that was happening, that all these influencers were getting paid by the DeSantis campaign to tweet horrible stuff to people who don't support him? It was so bizarre and obviously was never going to work. So it's very disappointing because he would have been my guy in 2028. And now I don't think that's going to happen at all. So very sad there. But Trump's the guy, and he's going to be in the driver's seat in the general election too.
And people don't like Nikki Haley in general, right? I mean, what is it with her?
Well, Democrats do.
Oh, yeah, that's
Democrats
right.
love her. Hot damn, they can't get enough.
That's right. The Democrat donor base likes her very much, and the old school Republican moneyed establishment likes her fine. But the key point, it's more profound than you might even know to say that people don't like her, because that's the issue. If you poll her issues, Gallup, Rasmussen, whatever, you look at the stuff she's running on. She's not running on things the American people like. She's certainly not running on things people who vote in Republican primaries like.
Yeah.
But in general, the public is not into her issues. And the longer she runs, we don't want open borders, and we're not open-minded to the trans stuff, and we don't want to have wars all over the place, and we don't want to keep sending money to Ukraine. Those are not issues. Her issues are not ones that are going to win her a primary. And even if you hate Trump so much, there's just not enough people.
Alex, what are you working on over at Breitbart?
Right now, I think the main thing is following this primary. We're following Davos right now, which is fascinating. There is a really interesting narrative going on in Israel where Biden is not sufficiently pro-Israel, in our opinion, but he's too pro-Israel for his base, which is devastating for him politically. That's another thing we're tracking right now. It is absolutely necessary for Georgia and Governor Kemp to start looking into Fani Willis and her the weird guy she's with, and their clear corruption. There's so many big narratives going on. We're dunking on the media for all of their terrible ratings and failures and layoffs that are happening. It's a very hot time in the news, and it's been a really cool January so far.
Well, the new edition of Alex Marlowe's New York Times bestseller, Breaking the News, out now in paperback. Alex, you've always been really good to us, man. Best of luck in the new year.
Whatever you guys want, I'm around for you. Thanks, guys.
All of this talk about Donald Trump makes me think, what if we had a Trump-themed beer for Beer Sample Friday? We may have one. That is coming up next. Beer Sample Friday on the Hammer and Nigel Show. So do you want your money to work a lot harder for you this year? Hey, what's up? It's Hammer and Nigel. Here's how you can get a great yield on your savings without betting the farm.
Oh, please, Hammer, tell me more.
You can get a competitive return that's averaged 7% a year for the past 10 years. Plus, you get an upfront 13% bonus on your money.
No way.
Yeah, a competitive return that's averaged 7% a year for the past 10 years, plus an upfront 13% bonus. And it's all backed by one of the world's largest insurance companies. Get the details from Bill Demery, your retirement guy, right here in Indy. All you have to do is call 317-932-9912. You know, he's my retirement guy as well, right?
Well, Hammer, you're a smart man, and Bill's my retirement guy, too.
Thank you. Get all the details by calling 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912.
Hey, don't forget, Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus offers free delivery within 75 miles. As a matter of fact, they just delivered my son a new queen-size bed and took our old bunk bed, and they took it with them and disposed of it for us. They're having their 97th annual New Year's sale, 50% off all Lazy Boys and Smith Brothers. How about up to 4 years of free financing on every Tempur-Pedic and Stearns & Foster mattress? I have a Tempur-Pedic mattress, by the way. I love it.
Located in Columbus, Thompson Furniture and Mattress, owned and operated by the same family since 1927. Just an awesome Hoosier business, and they support what we do here at the Hammer and Nigel Show. So if you're looking for a couch, if you're looking for an awesome Tempur-Pedic mattress like I got, contact ThompsonFurniture.com. Free delivery and setup if you live within 75 miles. Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
She's running around. Her breath doesn't smell. Her digestive system is perfect. It has made such a huge difference.
What did this dog parent do for their dog? She switched to Nature's Blend, a premium freeze-dried raw dog food made by Dr. Marty Goldstein, a veterinarian Forbes magazine called the Miracle Worker. It's the easiest way to support your dog's easy digestion, nourished skin, playful energy, and most importantly, their healthy, full life.
I'm so confident your dog will love it. Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee.
Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free full-sized bag of Tilly's Treasures dog treats. They're best-selling beef liver dog treats while supplies last. Go to drmartypets.com/diet or text DIET to 511-511. Go to drmartypets.com/diet or shop in over 2,000 stores nationwide. Use the store locator to find the store closest to you. All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply. Studies available upon request.
Everyone wants energy that's reliable and affordable. I've been a Duke Energy line worker here in Indiana for almost 20 years. So I'm proud to help deliver that for the people and the communities that matter most to me. with stronger, more resilient systems better able to stand up to severe weather, and support for local businesses and jobs. It feels good knowing I'm helping build a smarter energy future for all of us.
Paid for by Duke Energy shareholders.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake kitchen and bath cabinets. Visit Drexel's new design center on 146th Street at River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com.
A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of becoming part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own. Unbound.org.
Did you get a heating and air conditioning quote that you're just not sure of? Give us a call for a free second opinion.
317-577-8077 for Family Heating and Air, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
All right, Alan Green is filling in for Matt Baer, and he has a look at the roads.
Thank you. 465 westbound at 75th. An earlier stall is cleared, but traffic still jammed back from Pendleton Pike. 69 northbound at 96. An accident now blocking the right lane. Traffic backs up from 465. 69 southbound is still heavy between 82nd and 465. And 465 westbound traffic from Ditch to Michigan. Some stragglers there. This report brought to you by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake kitchen and bath cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland, online at drexelin.com. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
13 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Right now,
Hammer and Nigel present
beer sample.
Fry.
I got some beers. Let's drink them, huh?
Beers on sale, people. Come down and get you some.
Brought to you by Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Went a little long with Alex Marlowe, editor-in-chief of Breitbart, but we still have time for Beer Sample Friday.
Better have time.
Here, I'm just going to give this right over here to you. Thanks to Shirley for dropping this off.
Wow, here it is.
We had a story basically a few months ago about a brewery called Ultra Right Beer or something like that.
Right.
And the portion of the proceeds going to the Donald Trump Defense Fund or something like that. Something ridiculous. But yes, they bought, there is, what's it called? Conservative Dad's Revenge with a picture of Donald Trump on the can.
The world famous mugshot on this can of beer. It's called Conservative Dad's Revenge.
Thanks to Shirley for dropping it off.
Shirley, you're the best. Thank you.
Not bad. I'll take it.
I will drink that. There we go. We'll get a picture of this posted up on our Instagram. Follow us at Hammer and Nigel. Top stories coming up next.
Mark Dietel, the only real estate agent I'd trust to sell my house. The only real estate agent I'd trust to find me a new house. Apparently, a lot of people agree with me. How about Andy and Kim in Fortville? Here's what they had to say. We have an 8-month-old. It was time to add more space. We heard about Mark Dietel on the radio and hired him. What they say is true. Our old home had multiple offers and went under contract in 48 hours, while at the same time, they helped us find the perfect, new, bigger place.
Mark Dietel is the only real estate expert we trust and recommend here on the Hammer and Nigel show. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts, no required repairs. Contact Mark Dietel today, 317-755-4232, or go to markdietel.com. Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Chuck loves the word grit, and I think he saw that in his father because his dad worked very hard.
Dorn Goodrich on family and her son, Chuck Goodrich.
We struggled. We had 4 children. We both worked, but we always paid our bills.
Chuck Goodrich was raised in a working-class home focused on faith, sacrifice, and a strong work ethic. As a young man, Chuck Goodrich worked at a gas station and a pizza shop. To pay his way through Purdue, Chuck worked at a campground, living in a tent one summer to save more money.
I said, but son, where are you going to live? He said, well, I got a tent, and I'm going to stay in that tent. He was willing to do whatever it took.
Now, Chuck Goodrich's sacrifice, grit, and relentless work ethic have paid off. Goodrich employs 2,000 people at Gaylor Electric.
He wants people to succeed because God gave him a heart for people.
Chuck Goodrich, conservative leader, Hoosier heart.
I'm Chuck Goodrich, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Go with Chuck Goodrich Committee.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
That moment when you realize your furnace is stone cold busted. We're talking a real put on every sweater you own, I can't feel my feet, penguin predicament. But fear not, there's an expert for that.
Right now, get a furnace for free when you purchase an air conditioner from Broad Ripple Service Experts.
Like it toasty? There's an expert for that.
Call Broad Ripple Service Experts at 866-EXPERTS. See website for license details.
The new year is here. Time for change. Start a recession-resistant new career in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, and AI with My Computer Career in just months. Already in IT? Build your cybersecurity skills and prep for thousands of open positions employers nationwide are desperate to fill. Attend classes live online or on campus. Make this your year. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. That's mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill.
After such a warm December, the bitter cold is now here. Hi, this is Jiffy Lube owner Steve Sanner, and I want to urge you to head to your nearest Jiffy Lube so our technicians can make sure that your car or truck is fully prepared to handle these ice-cold temperatures. At Jiffy Lube, you never need an appointment. Just drive in and we'll change your oil, check all your fluid levels, inspect your lights, wiper blades, and belts, properly inflate your tires, and make sure that your car is in the best possible shape to keep you safe this winter. Jiffy Lube is even replacing brake parts and tires now, making Jiffy Lube Indiana's one-stop shop for all your vehicle's maintenance needs. Our computer system has the owner's manual information for every vehicle, and we have scanners that can help you understand and often quickly fix any dashboard warning lights you may see. So drop by your neighborhood Jiffy Lube today, and in just a few minutes, you'll get the peace of mind that comes with knowing that your car or truck is ready to handle another Indiana winter.
Want to find out what real retirement planning is all about? Tune in to Expedition Retirement with Greg Ayler, Sunday mornings at 7 on WIBC.
Reach your fitness goals in 2024 with the 20-minute once-a-week program at Exercise Inc. 5 locations now in Fishers. Visit exerciseinc.com.